Morning, everyone. Morning. How are we all doing? Hopefully you had a great day yesterday. Offered some amazing short opportunities on stream. And if any of you hung around until the end of the day, you got that short rally cover as everyone covered their shorts for that move back up. All right, so this morning we can talk about what we're looking at. Finally, we'd have to zoom in, but finally you can see the Bollinger Bands are starting to expand, right? We've been in contracting Bollinger Bands for a long time, since mid-November, and now we've got expanding Bollinger Bands, which gives us more range to play with. The 5-day, you can see, this is what we've talked about all week, 5-day, 20-day, 50-day, finally with a cross, and we will probably start doing a move like this. Now, it doesn't mean there can't be a mean version first, but this will be the target, not necessarily today, guys, over the next week or two, maybe even longer, but we are starting to leave this range. Now, if we look at, this is the range built out since the high, all right, we are starting to leave this range. You can see even actually overnight, they've come and back tested that Bollinger Band and rejected it, and back tested the value from this pivot high, value area low, and rejected it. And we've cleaned out lots of stops. So the only thing really left to look for, we have an old gap fill down here. All right, we have an old gap right in here. Oh, market's going to be a pain today and not draw it out. There we go. So I'd be watching if we get downside 24,700 to 24,575 if there's continued downside pressure. All right, it's one of the things we're looking at. If we look at this profile here, we can see we're into a node right here. All right, this is from the last year. This is 12 months worth of trading. So we know that from the last 12 months, we have a node right here where we're at right here, right now. If we start getting heavy underneath, let's call it 750, 745. If we start staying heavy underneath that and they don't set a trap, we need to be very careful about traps today for failed breakouts, and they don't set a trap, there is a move down to 535, which will fill this gap. So basically, in this little gap fill area, 750, 700 let go, and we can be looking at 550s. All right, 700, 750 let go, we can be looking at 550s. But we want to be very careful about failed breakdowns. All right, the moves we've had this week have been absolutely wonderful. We've captured a lot of it, especially yesterday. We don't really want to be shorting the lows without structure. So the reason for that being is we can do a little look below and fail, right? It would be very easy for them to come into this low volume node, have shorts pile in, and then go, no, we're not ready yet, thanks very much, and back up into here, all right? We would sort of expect that at some point, if not today, at some point soon, unless we go full risk off, like lower high, puke down, we're expecting a pullback, all right? So it might happen here, they might drift it all the way down and do it, but at some point, they are going to do it. So be very careful about thinking about to short the low outside the Bollinger Band, all right? Think about the structure of the move. We don't move in one direction. All right, going over to the hourlies. All right, here is our developing week. Let's delete this, make sure. Okay, yes, there we go. All right, this is our developing week profile here. You can see we've left most of the volume up here. So all the time we're under this, 25,200. Technically, we're in a sell, all right? Technically, we're in a sell. You can see breakdown, bear flag, breakdown, bear flag, breakdown. It might need to build liquidity again before it moves lower. It might need to come and do a little trap before it moves lower. We will have to see. All right, so we're going to use this liquidity here. We know there's a massive node here, 25,045, a previous day point of control. We had a big wash here at sort of 7 a.m., and we're very thin on that wash. All right, we weren't thin here. We have it built in structure-wise, but if they want to reprice that 7 a.m. wash, they can. So I am aware of that move. All right, we have targets below, like I talked about, this guy right here into this node, 619, and then all the way down here into these 4 and 500s like we've talked about. So there is a move into 550 today if they want to do it. But again, I would be very careful about getting caught shorting these lows. Anything like this can rip faces, come and retest here, and even here. And then they might want to set a little bull trap over this and then pop it back down. So we need to be aware of that. What I'm basically saying is an inside day. We need to be aware of an inside day building. We're outside at the moment, but if it's a failed break and we come back inside yesterday's, we can build lots of range here for them to use later on, either today or tomorrow. All right, so just be aware of that. Remember, like, not every day is going to be that A+ trade. All right, if we look at overnight, we just have a look at what we did overnight. We traded pretty much inside yesterday's val. Right, yesterday we came under val, drive up. I was looking for a short here anyone in Discord will know I was looking for the short there. They did it right on the bell, right on MOC. I wasn't here for it. I'd left by then. I'd had 2 attempts at it. All right, we came up, hit the IB high, traps and buyers up there. There's the short back down. There's the hold and base. There's the second leg up. There's the failure to break out the second leg. There's the rotation back down to the pivot. We build liquidity out in here, and then they puke it. All right, so we're watching to see any retest in here. Is there an opportunity to get long for that move there and then short back down? Long into here, then short back down. I don't really want to be short down here. We'd have to build out sufficient liquidity for me to feel comfortable doing that today. Swing shorts, sure. You guys are having a great time right now, right? A great time right now. Okay, so we're watching these same levels, right? This is the lower time frame, but if you want to mark out any of these levels, now's your chance to do it before I move to ES. But certainly going to be watching previous day value area low and 25,000. That gap fill up to 25,000. Do we do sort of fail breakout, squeeze up, gap fill, and then sell back down? That's one of the big questions. If we start basing above, I'll tell you the only time I'd really be bullish, all right, I'd be willing to play counter trend up into sort of here, and I'd be risk off into those. The only time I'd really be thinking about bullish is if they based above this for that move there. But this is likely to be a failed breakout for buyers. I see this as a big range being developed. Want to be careful about failed breakout rotation. Want to be careful about failed breakout rotation. But if they based above here, that is possible. I won't rule it out. It's highly unlikely, but it's possible. So we're going to talk about it. All right, ES. And we'll go through everything else. Right, so ES currently at the previous week low. Remember, NQ well below that. If we just have a little zoom out on the dailies, you'll see the relative strength. All right, ES is still technically in its range. It's starting to leave its range right around here, the 97s. Okay, but technically speaking, all right, ES, even if we wanted to do just these pivots, all right, it's still holding. Remember, we're down here. We've cooked these on the Qs already. All right, we're thinking about attacking down here now. So relative strength, because of the rotation, we went over it yesterday. So want to be careful. ES can still hold and pivot. It might steal some liquidity and go. So we want to be aware of that. If we have a look at the spiders, you're going to see the same thing. All right, still holding a pivot, but actually undercutting some of it. This is a key level now on the spiders, 76s, and I would say there's probably gamma knowing what they do at 75. So I'd be watching that into 75 if they get continued weakness. If we zoom this in for a moment, underneath previous day low right now. So if we reject previous day low, there's a drift lower. All right, if we reclaim that, that's where you can potentially get a squeeze up into this pivot, this pre-market pivot, 683s, and then gap fill if they really want to get going. Qs is going to be sort of similar, but with relative weakness. All right, sort of similar. So into this key level on the Qs, I can zoom this out, show you that key level we've been looking at is green box. All right, big level here, under here, then we come into this huge node where we found this bid in early November. So in the immediate future, if you're trading options or the Qs, I'd be watching this previous day low right here. This, you might as well call it 650, over 650 up to 602.65. If they really want to squeeze, that is a big pivot from after hours and pre-market right here, right? Bull traps can live here. So I'd be very aware of that. But if they really want to squeeze, they have a gap fill up here. If they want to do it, we will see. We will see. Remember, we have JOLTS at 10 o'clock today, folks, as well. Okay, Dixie still trying to find this bid off the lows, you can see, but it's coming back into range. It's probably coming back to the midpoint since here right now, so I wouldn't be surprised. There you go, 61. If it finds a sell soon, it might struggle a little bit in the immediate future. Let's have a look at the VIX. Still pumping. You can see breaking out of this. We talked about these higher lows and being built, and then there's the breakout. So really, any holdover sort of 20, 21s today, you know, if they want to get really aggressive, they're going for that push upside. Normally speaking, we would expect the VIX to pull back today. We expect to fail breakout and pull back, but we are not in a normal market right now. Bitcoin, I want to talk about some of these markets we went over yesterday. Like I said, we finished that 1,000-day cycle. This might really get nasty. You're starting to see it. It's very possible it does an 80% sell. That doesn't mean it goes straight down in one go, but like I said to you guys, be very careful about buying Bitcoin when we can actually consider a move all the way down here somewhere. I know, sounds ridiculous, but it's possible. We are coming into an area of potential support here, so maybe there is a buy from 73 down to sort of 50s. But it would be speculatory because we are now starting to break down. So you'd want to see a dip, hold, a turn, for that push back up, and I'd be selling into that push back up if you're going to do it. But we are starting to see a risk-off environment. Right, let's go through the mag. Relative strength, Mr. Apple, absolutely love it. Still long Apple from 208, remember, so still comfortably up in this. Holding that drive up yesterday. This was probably mainly off Nancy Pelosi. All right, if you had watched, they started to reveal her latest investments, and yes, she was long Apple. So it's being seen as a bit more of a safe haven than the other mags. Why? Because it doesn't have the same exposure into AI that everything else does. All right, Amazon, earnings tonight, remember, so we're still getting washed down on Amazon, but it's still actually just in quite a big chunky bit of range here. Nothing really too scared to let go of, but we have had a failed breakout. But in the immediate future, yes, we are starting to get a little heavy here. Goog, earnings last night, earnings were pretty good, but already pulling back down to this low point. So they're selling everything right now, even everything that where they're even offering good guidance, they're actually selling everything right now. That is a key sign of a rotation out of tech, like we've talked about. Meta continues to get weak, so coming back down into these some of these pivots, right down into here. So big gap up, fill that gap, right down into this pivot at 68. Remember, I'm still long from down here at the moment, so we're waiting to see what happens. If it's able to hold gains or not. But if we're going to go rotation off, then unlikely it will be able to hold gains. Microsoft's trying to find a bit of a bid. Did I start a long on Microsoft yesterday? Was that what I started a feeler on the swings? Have a look at the swing channel. I'm trying to remember. I think it might have been. It was. So I started a feeler yesterday because we're into a 61 fib from that tariff low. All right. So I've got a feeler on, very, very, very tiny position, just so mainly I can keep watching of it the next few days. But it is weak. Nvidia, still the same kind of story, but we actually are starting to break down under here. So failure to reclaim 77s opens up this move lower, and we can come and clear out some of these stops like we're doing on the Q. So we can talk about that like we did yesterday. All right, failing to reclaim this will lead to that weakness. Same story we talked about yesterday. Tesla, weak. That is weak. We're moving out of that choppy range. Yeah, there's your choppy range. All right, failed breakout. I'd say any failure into 420s, anytime we're under 420s, this is looking for a drive down to clean out these stops, and we have gap fill potential all the way back here. And if we measured that from a fib, and if we did a measured move under here, it would probably be down to that. So maybe at some point that starts to play out. Weaker names right now, they're moving out of anything software based. So if you have a look at like Oracle, continues to puke. If you have a look at like Adobe or anything like that, they're completely moving out of anything where AI software wise can have an impact. And that's pretty much it, folks. I guess we should have a quick look at AMD. They got absolutely murdered yesterday, but remember that had relative strength versus Nvidia for a while. All we're doing is coming back into gap fill potential on AMD, back down into 72s. All right, so it did really well. There's the gap up, it held. It has potential to come back down into here if it wants. And that's pretty much that. Zoom this in. All right, so we have this grey block below, blue block below that. I will not be looking to get too aggressive at the open. I would be very, very concerned about failed breakouts and breakouts either side of this. And this might look small, but this is over 100 points. What they've done here, if they want to reprice this in here, they will. If they want a failed look and come back down, they will. If they want a failed look and come back in, they will. And if they want to stay heavy, then it's going to be hard to join, I'll be honest. If they want to stay heavy at the lows, we're going to need a lot of liquidity built out. Right, I'm coming straight back. I've just got to turn my aircon off because this is freezing cold right now. All right, looks trappy. Yeah, it does look trappy. It does look trappy. What I would ask, if you can all smash that like button nice and early for me, then we don't have to talk about it anymore. And we should have a good stream here together. Again, we had a monstrous day yesterday. Remember, when you've gone like, you know, last week was a huge week. Yesterday was a really good day. The day before was okay. I missed a lot of the shorts. We don't expect like, you know, huge moves every day. So just remember that. Have that in the back of your head. Like, it's very possible that this market needs to slow down at some point. Silver crashed hard. Yeah, well, it did the failed follow through. We went over all those moves yesterday, right? we can go over it again. It did the fail follow through. That's what I was saying. What I'd be looking at on the silver after a big, you look at, it's basically the creation of a bear flag. There's the sell. There's your first bounce. There's the liquidity we talked about, and down. Same story on gold, right? First bounce into the key level. They will try and sell this back downside now. It's fairly normal move. It's like about as obvious as you ever get in the market. Honestly, once you see those big sell, we expect a bounce, and then we look to sell that bounce, right? That's probably the easiest move you can get. Okay, here we go, folks. So here's the open. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Bookmap already playing games for me, are you? I can't see anything. Come on, Bookmap, honestly. This is madness. Bookmap, what are you doing? I'm going to have to close this and reopen it. Oh, hilarious. It's showing me 500 points higher than price. Oh, are you joking? Here we go. Right, into this grey box potentially, or a fail breakout underneath this overnight low right here, which is what we were saying. We've got to be very careful about failed breakouts under here right now. We have this grey box below. I'd be very, very careful about them trapping underneath that right now. I think that's highly, highly, highly probable and likely. And you want to be careful. Grey boxes there is some structural support though. All right, here is the start of this move. So it's done a first look below and fail. Most of the liquidity up at 45s now. Let's get a New York one of these on. A bit more patience today than we've had recently, because we haven't got the same setup. Okay, like we said, there's the liquidity up into 45s. So here comes the sell through. Down into this grey box potentially. Remember, we have got gap fill potential, like we talked about, all the way down to, where is it, 700 to 550. So we want to think about that, 700 to 550s. We're already in that kind of area right now. We can talk about the mag. Tesla opening up 2.93% down, getting very washy here very early. 2.93% down on Tesla. Nvidia holding up okay. Microsoft 2.61% down. Meta 1.5% down. Google 7.64% down. Amazon 4.85% down. And Apple slightly up on the day. Right, just be careful down here into this support system. All right, be very, very careful. I won't be getting short down here. I think we will probably see a trap being set down here, which is what we're starting to see. So looking potentially for an explosion back upside now at this point. Here we go. And let's see if we can get through this next node and start ripping some faces. This was the trap that we talked about, folks. Here we go. So taking some profit into there. The moment I saw them start to lift that, that was join time. Watching New York Open to see if we get above New York Open now for the runners. And if we do and we rebase, I will start to add above that New York Open if we can do that. All right, so there's the trap into the grey box, back into range. We build out liquidity now. And I'll probably move my stop up a little bit here, try and protect this node at 88s. If we wash me out, that's fine on the runner. $67 big level. Nice protection of 88s. Here we go. Right, back into value area high again. Let's see if we can get through. Really nerd, really good. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, get through the New York Open. Let's turn this squeeze on. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Nice start. Not going to catch me getting trapped down there, I'll tell you that much. Come on, Bookmap. Second day in a row that you are pausing on me. Really can't be having that. Oh, I'm going to have to close this Bookmap down and start again. Fucking hell, mate. Give me a second on Bookmap, guys. Sorry. What a pain. What a pain. Still in this, guys. No, we're still protecting that node. I still think we can get above this New York Open and start to push. Here we go. So watching this now, previous day low, reclaim of 83s. We can see a squeeze here. So watching this New York Open. Here we go. Here's New York Open. So first TP here. Let's see if we can get through these 80s now and start exploding. Sorry, guys. But look at this on Bookmap. It's just a joke what I'm dealing with here today. Right, here we go. Really nice through the 80s. All right, so we will now look to see if we can trade up into here to 70. There can be a trap above 70, so I'll be trimming some probably at 40 and 70, and then holding to see if we come up to 964 and 989, and this will be an absolute huge winner to start the day if we get this. And we said trap was set down here, TP here, and then all the way up here, folks. Here we go. Who got short at the lows? Some idiot did. Some idiot did, and we are playing against him. So this is already comfortably into approaching the 100-point mark. Yeah, already 100 points. We want to trim a lot up here, folks. We don't know if we can get through that, but if we can, that's where we're going. So top side of this range is the failed breakout. This is what we talked about pre-market. Be very careful about a look below and a hold of here and this move here. We trim some here and we wait and see if we can get all the way up into that now. But we are locking in profits no matter what. There's a 100-pointer. Been, gone, done. Thank you very much. Alex equals genius. Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you guys. Honestly, it's not. You don't have to be a genius for this stuff. We just know we've done a huge move down. Shorts have chased the low. We expect a pullback. We join for this pullback, and if it doesn't make it all the way up to previous day value area low, that's fine because we've locked in a ton of money already, right? So the job is done. We've done our job. That's all we can do, folks, is do our job. Low-hanging fruit, right? Like we talk about all the time. We take the low-hanging fruits. Remember, we have JOLTS as well coming, folks. 10 o'clock. All right, ES struggling to get over the New York Open. I'm watching that carefully. It's struggling right now. If ES can get going, that will help. We're actually equally weighted right now. So watching this New York Open, I'd want to see this hold into 50s. Otherwise, I will cut this. I can always think about a re-entry. Still holding well. ES trying to hold VWAP, needs to get back above the New York Open. So ES letting the side down a little bit at the moment. Looking good though. Here we go. Great hold of 50s. Here we go, folks. Let's see if we can go upside here. Really nice hold of 50s. ES trying to get back over its New York Open, and it's got that previous day low. We've got liquidity above to go and attack. Beautiful. Really nice. Here we go, folks. Come on. Looking for a lift through this node here. This is where all the stops are, into 68s. Come on. Come on. Who does it like this? Let's go. Let's go. Job done. Okay, so last TP right now is we'll be looking for Globex and up here now. Really nice, but we expect we might start to get stuck here. Okay, if we look left yesterday, all right, we might start to get stuck in this kind of range. If we keep lifting, great, but we positioned perfectly for this. That was a big TP here. So you're now 150 points up. Globex and VWAP coming up, which would be 190 points, and then all the way up here, which will be 237 points into value area low from yesterday, and 270 points into previous day close, which would be the efficient market. Thank you for playing. Thank you for playing. What a beauty. All right, building out a node here. Do not let this collapse all the way down on you to 800. All right, so move your stop up, start protecting these profits very aggressively. You do not want, if we start breaking 77, there is a flush all the way down to 800s here. I will going to move this, the other side of this, so you can see price action a bit better. All right, so we want to watch this node here. We do not want to get flushy under this. We will cut it for any flush under this. Okay, we do not want to see this be lost. So far, we're holding well. So I'd move my stop right up to protect that if I was you. And then we'll just see how far we can squeeze here. So VWAP here, it's a big level here, folks. This green line, big level. Hopefully we can keep lifting, but I would have paid yourself 70-80% of your move right now at least. Let's see what else it's got left. Should we go back to sleep? Breezy, I got in at 760s. I cut all the micros already. That's all right. Well, that's still a fantastic move. 760s to 900, mate. That's 140 points. That's all right, buddy. Don't even stress about it. 140 points in the opening 10 minutes. Can we get through this VWAP? Keep getting stuck up here. See this shelf being very, very important. If we lose this shelf, do not hold on. Okay, do not hold on if we lose this shelf. If we're very lucky, they'll set a little trap. But if we lose this shelf, do not hold on. We're very thin all the way back down to 800. You will not be happy if you give 100 points back in one go. All right, you need them to complete this or just cut the whole thing. Here we go. Come on. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, come on, baby. Almost there. Come on. We're over 200 points now. Come on, please hold it. Please hold this shelf. I want full TP up there. If we lose this amount, folks, if I lose this amount, move my stop right up here. This is now VPOC on the day for me as well, based on Delta. VPOC moved up here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Holding all right so far. I'm not going to add any size. I'm in from these lows. Low risk long down here for the trap. If it washes me out, so be it. All right, out here, folks. Done. We can come all the way back down to here, so I'm not going to sit through that. They set a little low volume, no trap. It'll be fun, but that's it. Where did I enter this trade? Right on the reclaim down here. So if we look at this, guess what happened on the undercut of the lows? Look what happened on the undercut. Who entered? Shorts. Where did I like to start getting long once we started reclaiming? All right, there's the undercut, and we held. Goodbye, shorts. All right, look at the delta flip. Sell, 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 buy. They're trying to do that little trap down here. I'm not going to play it. This is what I talk about. That it's possible they set a trap in a low volume node if they want to do this move. I'm not going to play that. It's too risky for me. Low hanging fruit's gone. So we got up to VWAP. That was my best cover. Was into there. And I'm out of it now. And I'll just wait to see how we act now. Remember, we've done the damage. We can have a failed breakout above here, like we talked about. Each side of it can have a failed breakout. If we're lucky, they're going to keep lifting. But I'm out of it now anyway. We went over silver already. I'm not going to keep going over the metals, guys. You need to be here early in the morning. I'm not going to keep going over it, especially we're in a trading day. All right, they filled some imbalance and held. They set that little low volume node trap. ES might want it to be up. So ES is trying to do the catch-up trade. Look at VIX, failed breakout, coming right back down into the low 20s. This node's starting to build out here. This is your over-under for current sentiment. So if we think where we might go, previous day value area low, previous day point of control, previous day close, sorry, previous day point of control. Somewhere in here, I'd imagine we fail. One of these blocks, we'll probably fail, at least for a back test. Maybe it does this to one of these, but I don't know which, but I'm out now anyway. 200 points, that was enough. Got my money, right? Got my money. ES coming back up to its VWAP. Big old squeeze out. Getting very close to previous day value area low here now. And we're back inside, potentially inside the, well, we are inside already, current developing week's value. All right, we've got a node, I would say, up into, yeah, pretty much where previous day is. It's going to get tight up here. It's going to get tight up here. How much more can they lift it is the question. ES almost to VWAP. Looks like it wants its VWAP right now. VIX still coming downside. We're still bidding above this grey box for now. So long's still okay, technically. I mean, they washed me out. I wasn't willing to sit through in case they washed down to here. That grey box is going to become key for sentiment. Absolutely key. And it's back down to VPOC again. This key level. This is where the sellers keep getting stuck into 880. They cannot find a sell underneath that. They keep getting stuck into the 880. Right into here. Lots of sellers keep stepping in here, not getting their way. All right, so we might keep lifting all the time they keep doing that. Nice, Rob. Great work. Asia highs, I mean, 180s, it's possible. I wouldn't say it's probable, it's possible. When we zoom out and think about what we're looking at, you know, we'd have to get through all of this first. Previous day value area, this will be a big level, folks, like into previous day value area low and the cash gap. Remember, cash gap here, settlement here. All right, this will be a big, big level. Through that, this is a huge level. To get to Asia, you're talking about all the way up here. We're asking it to do a decent amount of work, all right, because we're still bearish. There's the range, there's the breakout. We know it's thin here. We said we might reprice thin structure, right? We're repricing the thin structure. Doesn't guarantee that we're going to come all the way up here. We might very well reject this range or just go sideways in it once we get here. All those things are possible. We are struggling a little bit up here to like break out, which is what they're trying to do. They want to hold 880s on this grey box and force the breakout. They are struggling a little bit. And now starting to bid at the 20s. They just want to get up to 50s. They're trying to get a face ripper up to 50s at the moment by the looks of it. There they go. So they're going for that value. ES going for VWAP as well. Here comes the move for value. So through to the 50s. Value just up here at 64s. They're starting to get stuck up there. Buyers keep getting caught on those highs. They haven't completed the move yet. I'm not using Thinkorswim. This is TradingView. I execute on NinjaTrader. I do not use Thinkorswim. How many screens do I have? 5. All right, back down into this grey box. Big, big level. There's no shorts until we leave this, all right? And you want to be very careful being short. There's no shorts until we leave this grey box. All the time we're above this, this is a long trying to extend up. They're trying to extend up to hit their targets right now. There is no short until you leave this grey box. Any of you that are thinking about short, not until you leave volume. We talk about it all the time. You would be front side on this move. You don't know how high up this can go. Maybe it stops here and leaves. Maybe they base here and do a big, big squeeze. We don't know. So we respect the structure in front of us. Buyers definitely caught the moment at 930s. It's hanging around this VPOC. ES stuck right now between its 24-hour VWAP and its New York VWAP. Just completely stuck. What's your ATR? It's still pretty high. All right, your ATR is still pretty high. We're still holding this grey box. There is still no change here until that changes. If we start to change that, there'll be a drive lower. So holding the edge of grey box again, back upside we go. No change. The only short here, and it'd be very, very tough to take today, would be something like this down to here. All right. Otherwise, we have low-hanging fruit above for them to aim for. Yeah, the grey box, you see, well, we can actually extend this grey box now, but you can see this volume here. Right, if we looked inside of that, right, you can see at the lows, we have sellers keeping getting stuck. At the highs, we have buyers stuck. So we're boxed in here. The breakout will get this continuation for that move up there. You want to be very careful about a failed breakout. That's why I'm not adding up here, because I know that we've had a decent move. We've had a decent run already. They're going to try and get into this value area low and previous day close. They want to close this gap. Remember, this is where, oh, don't move that. This is where we held overnight. So this is where all buyers are currently stuck, right? The reason I'm not too interested about the next long from here to here is because there's not too much room. If they'd let me hold my runners, I would have been willing to hold all the way up. It looks like they're going to do it. Here you go. So we know buyers are stuck up here. So we want to be very careful. There is a shelf up here that they're trying to reprice into. Reclaim that and we get very, very bullish. Okay, so here's value. So tag now. Previous day value area low now tagged. It's actually here. Just moved that accidentally with my mouse. Okay, so previous day value area low tag. The only thing left now is PDC, the yellow line above. Where have those gone? If I just, there we go. The yellow line above. Jesus Christ, almost lost it. The yellow line above is for a full gap fill. Q is trying to get there as well. So ETF has not made it there yet either. SPY has now just popped above that pre-market level and failed and driven into VWAP and failed. So value holding so far. We can move this up a little bit. We've got like a double shelf here. It's pretty ugly, I'm going to be honest. It's not what you want to see. But buyers are still in control for a squeeze, but how much longer for? Well, we're going to find out very shortly. Back down into this grey box and VWAP again. Do they finish bidding with this now? Are they done with this grey box? Here's the sell into the lower end of the grey box, watching in case we start to leave it. If we leave it, I will consider the move down into here, not beforehand. I won't just take the break either. It's too risky for them to retrap. Big buyer here at 79 now out of position. All the time we're under him at 79. Still holding, ES still holding New York VWAP. So stuck between 24-hour New York VWAP. Still not leaving this grey box. Watching this now. If they fail 905s in this low volume node and do this move here, I'll think about joining. If they fail this low volume node and do this move here, I'll think about joining there. If they can't reclaim the top side of this shelf, getting close. I need a rejection of 880s, a flush. Here we go. And let's see if it rejects the next tap back in. I'm waiting for a tap back in. I'm not going to take the breakdown here. If it goes without me, it goes without me. I have to wait to see if they tap back in and retrap, watching these 880s. Come on, Bookmap. What is wrong with you? All right, watching these 880s. Reclaimed, not taking yet. Still watching, still watching, still watching. Watching this develop. There's still bids here. We might get this flush soon, but I don't want to get caught in a re-squeeze. Watching ES right into its New York VWAP as well. I need it under all of that, really. Still holding. Buyers got trapped on that last push into the low volume node. Still not in. Still not comfortable with this. Still don't like what I'm seeing on the tape. Pushing back up. Not going to touch it. Buyers stepping in here. If you look at the tape, 65, 70, 75, 80, and 90, all starting to try and lift, push it ups. Why I didn't take it. Didn't see the bid support leave. Saw them step up. So ignored that move there for the trap. And just see if they want to keep lifting this again now. So going to ignore it until it's clean. I guess that, what would I see there? It just comes with experience, I guess. Just how they were acting on the tape. We just rejected point of control there again. How long till news? 7 minutes. Do I want to take the trade before the news? Probably not. ES back down to that VWAP again. If ES starts getting heavy here, we might get that flush, but do they want to do it? They just tap to the top side of it. It's quite dirty what they're doing here. Very, very risky, especially into news. Very, very, very risky, especially into news. ES held previous week again. Bookmap failing on me again, stalling out again. Come on, mate. There is a flush here if they want it. Do they want it? Do they want to let go of it? Here we go. All right, trying a little piece now. Watching these imbalances to 43s and then 20s. Here we go. And then can we get view up here? Peeling some off there. Don't like that straight away. Bid coming in. Want to see them pull these bids. Don't want to see them rebid up. Come on, flush it down. Stop moving to 79s now. We've got a little imbalance at 75. At 79s, I'll tap back out. Come on, Bookmap. Fucking hell, mate. Rebid in there, rebid in this. Be careful. Sellers got stuck on that last move. Need a breakdown here underneath 47s. Here we go. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Took patience. All right, covering a lot into this. And the next node I'll be looking for is down here. And I won't be expecting price to come below this, really, to be honest. So I'll be taking most of my position off here. Covering most into here. I will be taking most off here. So versus this. Flush, leaving this shelf, back down into here. If we get this, great. Repricing some of these imbalances now. All right, so maybe I can show them to you on here. See these imbalances where we ripped back up. We're starting to reprice some of these. That's why we're peeling some off into this. Let's fucking go. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level. Here we go. Give me that TP. Give me that TP. Watching 800s. It's value area low as well. They might rebid this. Moving stop tighter here on a runner. There we go. Out here. It's fine. Almost got that. I don't want to be a dick for a tick. Especially into news. What's the bet now they do this? Because I just got out. Being protective. Probably. Probably. No, my fucking luck. FZT made my entire month in a day. You are fire, sir. Mike, love it. Love it. It's clean though, guys. Like the action has been clean recently. Like it's been so much like, oh, can you see the difference in my trade? I'm gonna fucking do it, aren't they? Alex, you idiot. Mom, meatloaf. Can you see the difference in my trading when we leave value? When we have trap players, how much easier it is for me to trade. It's my favorite, man. When we've got people stuck, just the momentum so much better. Okay, into that node and finding a bid. So like I said, I don't actually expect it to come below here. But I was saying, knowing my luck, they're going to do this with it. But it's very possible that for the rest of the day, we might just chop in here, folks. All right, so we did a fail breakdown, fail breakout, back into the mid. All right, we don't know what it wants to do. Maybe they do the continuation, but I think it's very likely we need to build out liquidity. All right, if we think about on a daily right now, all right, it's very, very likely we need to just have a slower day and build something out here, and then maybe offer this and then this in the next week, right? So, but you know, it doesn't matter what I think. If they're going to go risk off, they will just fucking dump this stuff like they did for the last few days. Where was my entry? It was right here. It was right around here, 90s. All right, so once I saw, do you remember I said if we leave it, if we leave this grey box, I will be looking for the short. We left, and I said I want them now to reject 905s, I think I said, this low volume node for the trade under. They did this move, and then the bids started stacking and walking up. So I was like, I'm not touching that. They're walking it up. They had one more push. This push here trapped all the buyers. So once we failed back under this shelf, that was my short, and I was covering into here, and I think into here. I didn't even get my final target. I missed it by like 2 points. And if they start letting go of New York Open, it means that all the buyers will be out of position, and we will rotate. Oh, they're going to do the whole fucking move. I mean, that is just terrible for me. I'm going to be honest. This is terrible for me. We might have had the best trade of the day there. That might be perfect position if they're going to go really risk off. All right, you've got news coming in under a minute here, folks. Lots of sellers coming in at these lows. Be very, very careful. They're being very aggressive down here. Be very, very careful, because if they get caught, we will rip back up. That's a straight move down. Let's get a Trump impression celebration. We need the YMCA song. So good. Beautiful trade. FCT, beautiful trade. We trapped him at the top. At the top, we trapped him. What's the grey box? It's just volume, all right? It's just how I mark out volume. It's just volume. All right, here comes the news, folks. Be very careful. If they reclaim this guy here, they can do a rip right back up if they want to come and retest this, all right? Remember, we've made very good money. So the trades we've called on stream again today, it's a very early day. Where's the short? Now let me do it. There we go. Into this node, down to here. Oh, Alex. Oh, this is gonna fucking hurt, man. This is gonna hurt if they want to do a new leg down and I had the best position on the day. This is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt my ego. This is how I get tilty. This is how I get tilty. Even with big wins, this is how I get tilty. If they start puking this and I know that I've stopped out when I shouldn't have stopped out, I will get very upset with myself. Oh my God. Is anyone still in this? You should be still in this. If it wasn't for news, oh, fanculo. Oh, Alex. Yes, please. You're still in. Nice. JOLTS. This was JOLTS. We had 10 a.m. news, JOLTS. I just didn't want to hold through JOLTS. Because you had this huge candle, right? We moved from 96 to it's almost a 100-point candle. I didn't want to sit in this and get ripped all the way back up. The market is bleeding. All right. We're back into a key level. The 700s was the turnaround point earlier. This same key level. So be careful here. All right. If you are still in this short, I would be covering some here. And then we can think about if you're going to get expansion. Remember, we talked about 700 to 5. I want to make sure I'm accurate here. 700 to 561 is potential gap fill. I'm going to just draw this out on here so I don't lose sight of it. We do that as, what should we do it as? Like a light yellow. Okay, we're into that gap, folks, all right? We've been straight down. If they get a reaction, they can go straight up. So I would just trail your stop on stuff like this. 700 is where the big sellers came in this morning, got stuck. This white line is where the sellers came in this morning, got stuck. That's where we went under, over, squeeze. So just be careful. I'll be watching these nodes back up here now. I'm going to remove this. You would want them to protect that on the way back up. All right. I think we will develop a range here now today. No, I don't speak Italian. Not enough of it. Just enough to swear. Nice work, everyone. Nice work. Only bonds. Well, also Netflix. Those of you who started that swing position with me, Netflix, relative strength again, 2.5% up. Love to see it. Love to see it. That one's starting to look good. So I actually want Netflix to come a little bit lower. We started that swing position. I'd love it into the 70s, but that's a nice drive today. You can see we're starting to base out here. I would have loved it a little bit deeper into this gap. And we might still get it. It might be a drive which rejects and comes down, but we are now, what, like 40% down off the highs, maybe more? Yeah, 40% off the highs. I'd love it that little bit weaker. Any aggressive flush down, and Alex will be scooping. And he'll be scooping aggressively. Long term. 2+ year swing. You can always play leaps. The lower we go, the better, in my mind, for Netflix. Okay. What do I think about Hood? I imagine they're absolutely dumping it. Yeah. It's been priced up so hard. It's been stupid, the amount of price up. You can see where I talked about come back to. This is, yeah. I mean, anyone buying it up there is frankly, I mean, I hope I'm not offending you, is frankly a fucking idiot. Like this whole thought that this is going to keep going high, just ridiculous. They've got exposure to crypto, which has finished its 1,000-day rally like we talked about. We go swing to swing. Right, you're into an interesting area right now, but you're very, very weak. So I think into here would be interesting to scoop some up. Right, if you're really bullish on it, I think there'd be a reaction somewhere around here for at least a back test. So there's probably, if you can get 70s, there's probably like a $30 move. And if it reclaims, great. If we're going to go bullish on the rest of the year, if we start losing this though, you want to be real careful. We actually have an old gap down there still. So it really depends on sentiment of the market. Really depends on sentiment of the market. Like if I'm going to scoop up individual names, they either need to have been sold off way too much and be a very, very good name. Or if it's like a speculatory buy for me, it's where I think there's like some news coming or something like that. But normally it's just looking for Mag 7 kind of names deep in discount. Oh, God. This is going to hurt, guys. This is going to really hurt me. I'd be very careful about the failed breakout again down here. If you're still short, just as long as you paid yourself some, we can think about the extension that you could potentially do. Yeah, you might get 500 today if you get really lucky. Remember, we're into a gap. This sort of greeny or orangey, yellowy box is a gap. Why is that gone that color? We want new gray. My method's complicated. I don't think so. I think it's really simple. It might seem complicated. All we're doing is looking for players on multiple time frames who are trapped. All right. So where did bulls enter today who are not very smart? They enter on a breakout. All right. They bought here. We see them trapped here. We see them trapped here. We use their pain to trade lower. Where did shorts enter today? Underneath this low, down here. We've already puked out lots. We don't expect this to just keep going down. When we zoom right out and we think about where this move started yesterday and the day before, even higher, we can't just keep nailing down without providing liquidity for market makers to get involved in. So, were market makers likely to short low of day today? No. Was retail? Yes. So they get trapped. We use their pain. We trade up. They get trapped, buying the top, we use their pain, we trade down, right? That's all it is. And it's the same thing on multiple time frames. That's where the edge comes from. And you're using flow zones or everything else for confluence and key levels. What indicator am I using? This is anchored volume profile, and this are the flow zone pros. Someone just asked, how do you get Discord? You do the 20-hour course, the beginner to advanced course. You get Discord for free with that. Look at Bookmap. It's really starting to annoy me. Guys, is there a shortcut where I can get this to stay pinned? Because it keeps not staying pinned. It's starting to be frustrating. If they trap shorts here, it's a good long. Yeah, I mean, I'd want a low of daybreak at this point. ES has already done it. You just got to remember, we're in a bearish market, leaving... and VIX has just found a pivot, thank you. VIX has just found a bid and is breaking out. So, you'd need the VIX to start going the other way. You'd probably want us to finish filling that gap. Right, so look at VIX. It's just found a bid on this old resistance level. All right, here's the old resistance level. Here's the pin low. Look at VIX did the same thing that we did for the longs. All right, undercut, turn around, gone. All right, V-shaped recovery into key level, gone. All right, so if VIX blows through this and comes back down, maybe you get that kind of move down here, but you want to be very careful. All right, this is a high volume node. This gray box here is a high volume node that we're trading into based on a daily and a weekly, but we can come all the way down to 550. Like I said, gap fill would be 550. So I want to be very careful. I wouldn't be short down here, that's for sure. We had the best short of the day. I am an absolute idiot. That was another 220 points back down to low of day if I just held that. Sorry, folks. All right. Zoom in and watch this a little bit now. I think we're going to go in a range today. Honestly, my gut feeling is We shouldn't trade gut feeling, but we just trapped shorts at the lows again, 650s. Right, if we look again at the lows, all the lows, and there you go, 650s, the undercut. Guess what happened? Breakout shorts came in underneath the previous or the current daily low, and they now just got themselves caught again. All right, so if they don't get a break under here, if they tap this and stay and buy a step back in, we will probably get a squeeze back out. I wouldn't be playing the buys down here. It's very, very risky right now. I'd kind of wait for it to start pivoting and showing me. How do I set my levels for value area high and value area low? They're based on New York. They're not based on the whole day. All right, I will tell you, there's definitely some sellers getting caught at these lows. We are starting to see them get caught down here. Look at this, 658 to the low of day. So if buyers protect that, it's a big fucking ask because you haven't turned around yet. But if they protect this and reclaim up here, they reclaim value, there's probably a move. You know, I'd be more interested if they reclaimed 720 for a move up to 800. Otherwise, I wouldn't really be touching it. But they're definitely piling in at the lows. Like 600 and 550 still possible. If you're still holding your shorts, still possible. Well, let's see if Bookmap moves down with this thing. I don't think it's going to. Does anyone know of a shortcut? No, it's not going to again. Oh. Got to be something I've clicked accidentally. What is this? Control panel. Really annoying. VIX matters over analysis. It's just good Confluence, right? It's more like if we see divergence for VIX, it's a day that I don't want to trade, right? And it does occasionally happen, especially into rollover. Right, so if you see like VIX moving higher and the market moving higher, that is a no-go for me, days like that. Right-click on the price line. Recenter. What do I want to put? Auto BBO? Nope. I want it to follow it, and it's just not. Recenter last price. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. Thank you. Okay, here we go. So you might get this gap fill, folks. Oh my God, we had the best short of the day. Alex, you are... I knew this was going to happen. I might not be able to trade the rest of the day now. This is going to put me on full tilt. This is going to be a 330-point trade that I've missed. Oh, that's hard to take. That's really hard to take. I'm sorry, team. Lots of you are getting it, though, which is great. So I'd be TP into here, the edge of this grey, and then I'd be looking for 550s now. This was what we talked about earlier, 700 to 550 possible today after a fail break. Oh, God. This is going to be sting. This is going to really sting. This is going to sting. Oh, Alex. Turn up my mic volume. Can try. It's pretty high up, man. I think it's just that I'm speaking low. It's actually pretty high up. Yeah, I know. Close for the news. Oh, God. I'm telling you now, this is like a huge tilt thing for me personally, when I do my diary. Too many break evens and stuff like this. Huge tilt thing. Okay, you look good here, folks. I'd manage this position. You're getting very close to filling that gap. So if they want to be efficient, they will fill this gap and then maybe find a bid into the end of this. If they're going to remain heavy, all right, gosh, we're running out of things for me to look for here. If we're going to remain heavy, we are now looking at an hourly chart based on November sort of 20th. Yeah, November 20th to 21st. So we're looking maybe 47. There's definitely 450 down to 150. Oh, it's a long way. It's down here, guys. Oh, all right, there you go. You're about to get it. You are about to finish that gap fill. Oh my God, that's painful. Well, congrats anyone that got it. You just got 330 point gift. Well, Alex got 80 of it. Oh God. Oh my God. It might keep coming. Bing, 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 bing. Did any of you get that full move? Did any of you get the full move? I'd love to know. Hopefully you did. It would make me very happy if you did. So a little reaction off the gap fill here. Did anyone get the full move? You got it. Oh my God, you guys got it. Look at that reaction off the gap fill. God, that was accurate. Stick with me, kids. Stick with me, kids. I'll get you paid. They can afford to rip this now if they want to. They can afford 600 and then all the way up to 650. Remember, this is thin down here. All right, so if they just want to be efficient, if it's a big if, they might come all the way back up for 660 and then 700. Here you go. What did I say? All the way up to 650 if they get through at 700, 720. You're welcome. There's 650s. Who's this guy, Flowzone? Oh, God. Markets like to be efficient, folks. Honestly, that's why. Markets really like to be efficient. So, like, if I was short in this, you got to think everyone's... I'm just a 40-year-old, guy wearing spectacles living in Los Angeles who used to be a DJ. If I've worked out that if we leave volume here, all right, and we want to trade lower and that there's gap fill potential into there, you know what? Banks have worked that out. So guess what they're going to do? They're at least going to cover some of their position into there, which means what? We're probably going to get a reaction off that to here. And if they get through there to here, and if they get through there, think about how thin we were all the way back up to here. All right. So if I can work that out as a complete numpty, then obviously big players can work that out, and big players move the market. All right, so here you go. Here's the 50s. And if you get through that, I'd watch, if you're long now for any reason, I'd watch 90s and then 7 sort of 20s. Great work. Alex, when should we leave the charts? Well, if you've hit like a daily target, if you've had a really good day, leave. If you've had a bad day, leave. If you're feeling frustrated, leave. If you don't understand what's going on and you want to learn, stay. If you are waiting for the next trade setup, stay. If you feel calm and composed, stay. If you've made really good money, but you want to just learn more and switch to sim, stay. Don't overtrade though. Can I show my anchor view ups, anchor profile settings? Yeah, right here. All right, I used 2 ticks. I had this set to ticks, but if you're using rows set to 1,000, I use 2 ticks and I just set it to 20% width. That's it. That's all I do. That is all I do. How do I mark out those value areas or gaps? The gap was literally go to the daily. All right, can you see this on the daily? We were inefficient here. So we gapped up this day from Friday. There was a weekly gap up from Friday to Monday. We gapped up. We never filled that gap. Right, this gap was left open. We've now just been efficient and filled it. Right to the tick. We just filled it. Right, so it's just the market being efficient. So if we think about the gaps the same way as any form of imbalance, right? At some point they want to be why have we got a gap there? That doesn't exist. That's just fucking trading view being stupid. Bad data from CME again. Is the anchored volume profile on TradingView? Yeah, it's a tool, guys, so it's not an indicator. We go about this so many days. Right, forecasting, come down to volume-based, anchored volume profile, set it to your 930. All right, it's a tool. There's some videos for it. If you go to my YouTube, there's a ton of free videos that I teach you how to use it, how to use all these things. You should remix a version of Should I Say or Should I Go with trading lyrics. What should we change the lyrics to, JD? Let's do it in AI. What should we change the lyrics to? Should I long or should I short? Okay, so we've got imbalances now that we've left from this upside squeeze. All right, so we'll watch this. If buyers step back in here, we can form a higher low. All right, if buyers step back in here, we can form a higher low, and a reclaim of that can be a squeeze. If they trade straight through this, then we're going to get more downside. You have a course for sale, but do you have any monthly memberships for Discord? No, I don't do any monthly fees. Okay, so everything's included in the course. So if you do the 20-hour course, all right, then Discord comes for free with it. If you do the beginner to advanced course, it has Discord in it. There's no monthly fees, guys. It's just a straight up. You get it as part of it. No, still NQH. Still NQH. How do I trade like you? I'm trading on Robinhood. Well, Robinhood shouldn't make a difference how you trade. I've never traded on Robinhood. Do they have like a sort of professional platform? Do you have tools on Robinhood? I don't know if you do. Or can you link it to TradingView if not? Okay, so we're coming down towards these imbalances. Imbalances are 80, 71, and 64. Like I said, if they put in a higher low here and start to reclaim, there is a bigger squeeze up for a reprice. If they just flush through all of this, it will be night-night. They are trying to put in a higher low. They haven't actually filled in any of those imbalances yet. They're trying to put in a higher low here for a move back up at the moment. And they're going to look for this. So I'm actually very, very tempted to consider this long, but I will actually want to see us either dip a bit lower or rip a bit higher in base. I don't really want to trade around here. The imbalances are a little bit lower, so I just want to see if we're going to fill any of these out first. So maybe they come down for it. So if we trade down to sort of 80s and below and hold and then pivot back above 50s or definitely 70s, I'll consider the long on a rotation. It's my least favorite trade. We all know Alex hates that trade. But if we do something like this, I will consider this play here, right from here. If we hold this, they are starting to base here. They haven't filled the imbalances though, which is annoying me a little bit. But they are trying to put in the higher low. And this can be possible here. They're starting to do it. Oh, you dirty buggers. Trying to do it without me. Trying to do it without me. So the gap that just filled is no longer valid as a key area. I mean, it's still a key area, right? Or we're still in it. We are still in it. You know, we can trade below. If they lose the gap, right? Let me show you. Let me get you onto an hourly chart because it's hard for me to explain all this otherwise. Right, you've got two things happening here in this hourly chart. If we zoom left, remember all the way back to here. All right, this was a pivot right here, Monday the 24th. The gap was down into this low, which we just tapped. If we lose that gap, right, we're going to come into this area, which was a big section that we bid off. Now, if we think about what happened here, why was it so important? We went into a major sell and big institutional buyers down here said no. And this was the start of a huge drive up. So we are here. We can maybe come into here. We probably don't expect this in one go, not in one session. It's possible, like I said, anything is possible if they go full risk off. But we're into a big area. This is also like this contract sort of started here. We're starting to go beyond this contract, right? We're starting to go back on the contracts. What's the old contract? We're on an H. Was it an M contract? My brain can't think, right? So I don't think we're going to come below here in one session. I think we will eventually come below here, right? But we have to be aware of that. We're probably going to see some reaction down here at some point. Think about how heavy we've got, right? We're probably unlikely to see this go straight down, right? And just keep puking. What we're more likely to see is probably something like this, and then a pullback in and liquidity being built out here for a session or two, all right? And maybe one more trap next week and then that maybe. And then if we get that move, what are we going to look for? Like we've talked about on the dailies, for the last few days. All right. If we're going to get that catch-up trade, look, the undercut and the 200-day are starting to match up really, really well. This area will be such a big cover point for anyone that got short. So all the institutions who took this gap fill here, failed break above, right? This is your, if you think about Wyckoff, there's your spring, fail breakout, there's your sign of strength, there's the continuation, this is to the other side. This would be a big cover point. Now, if they let go of this, oh my gosh, it's going to get dangerous, right? We have a node down here into 24K. They will not want to lose that too quickly, all right? I would expect a bid to start developing somewhere down here for a back test up here, right? Think about, we're leaving this. We will expect a bid somewhere down here for a back test there. If they reclaim it, uber bullish all the way back up. If they reject this, then we can think about a big bear market back down into some of these tariff areas. Can't rule it out, guys. I'm not willing to rule anything out. I can only trade what's on the chart. Both of those things are possible. Right, they're trying to do this higher low right now. We talked about it. They keep getting stuck in this block. You can see this grey box that I marked out was very, very key. For entering trades, do I use market or limits? Where possible, I will use limit orders, but you kind of need trend to be going on your side for a limit order, all right? So like when I was here, I was able to use a limit order, right? But actually here today, I didn't use a limit order. I used a market because the trap came and I was like, well, I need to get in now before that happens, all right? So it's not a chase for me. It's just like I need to get in now. And if I lose a tick or two, I don't care because I have that much conviction. What I will not do is if we're moving away, try and mark it in down here. All right, so it's limit where possible, but if I miss it by a tick or two and it's moving fast, I don't mind marketing. As long as I'm buying still in discount or I'm selling that market in premium, it's okay. But where possible, I always limit and I try and cover with my limits. That's why I put limits out for my cover positions or my partial positions all the time. If I miss it by a tick, I just drag it down and fill it. All right, now we're into those imbalances. So 77s is one, then there's one at 61, and there's another one at 53. They will need to hold this and then pivot back up. Otherwise, we will break down and we go for new lows. So like I said, we haven't seen. They will need to hold this, pivot back above all of this for me to be interested in the long. I'm not going to bid down here. I need to see them do something like this for me to be any interest at all. But we have just started to fill some of these imbalances. All right, down into here. We talked about these imbalances all the way down here. They will need to now pivot above all of this. And then maybe I'm interested. Maybe it will be a counter trend trade, but it will be, I'd have to reclaim value and think about a rotation. It would need to confirm to me, the only way I'm trading this, right, is basically if this is a failed breakout and we come back inside value and I think we can trade value for the day, if I think we're going to do a rotation in here for the day. If we're going to stay aggressive, obviously I'm not going to bid. Right? I'm not going to bid. I'm also not going to sell here. It's very hard for me to sell here now when I had the best sell position for the day. Very hard. Sulky Alex. Sulky. Do I trade London? No, I don't. I live in Los Angeles, so I am asleep during London. I'm asleep during London. What volume profile is it? It is. I need to do a sheet for you guys, don't I? It is an anchored volume profile based on the New York session, so anchored to 9:30. So they just filled that imbalance like we talked about, and we are starting to catch a bid. All right, if I show you here, right, we just filled this imbalance on this long wick. We left the one tiny piece left, and they're starting to catch a bid. Now, if they can pivot above, then maybe it's got a shot. All right, maybe it's got a shot. I will not be long down here. It will need to prove to me with higher lows, right? I'm not going to go fishing today in a bear market. It would need to prove to me with higher lows. What's the cost of the course? It should be 699. If he hasn't changed it, I'm going to get very upset. I've been asking him, and he promised me this week. Flow Zone Trader. But if not, it's going to be 649 until I shout at my web developer. It's still 649. God damn it. Okay, it's 649 right now for the 20-hour course. And it's 399 for the order flow course, and if you get a bundle, I think you get $100 off if you do them together. Trappy PA, we're just building out now. We're building out now. Probably think about SPY into 800, and we can probably think about a SPY. Probably think about a SPY into 75s. Has anyone got gamma up? I would imagine 75s are going to be massive, just because it's a whole number. They love stuff like that. We have an old pivot down there, right into 75. So if we look at 16th of December and 18th of December, and if we look at the high of the 25th of November and the 20th of November and the 14th of November, I'm going to guess 675 on SPY is a big level. I'm going to have a guess. I would imagine it's a big level. All right, initial balance now set. All right, so here's the IB. So those of you who like the IB trade, we can think about the fail breakout of IB or the hold of IB back to VWAP. All right, if we're going to get a trend day, we're going to need to reject IB. Remember, we are down fairly significantly on this session already off the highs. All right, it's a 420-point move. Okay, so if we start to bid above here, the move back to VWAP is very probable, isn't it? This is filling the imbalance. They're trying to put in the higher low. If we start to reclaim some of these areas, it's possible that they squeeze back up to the VWAPs, and they're going to have to reclaim 660s. All right, and then maybe I'm interested. Maybe I'm interested if they can do that. Do I see any bids on the 200 day? Let me just remind myself where that 200 day is. 24,200. Hang on a second. No one's down there yet. Too far down. It is 24, right? 24,200. 24,200. Yeah, no one's down there yet. 24,500 is 132 lot, but there's no one really under that. No one notable with size yet. Not yet. Okay. Right, so I tell you now, sellers at 81 is where they keep getting stuck. 81 and under, and definitely 57 is basically that low of day auction. I would like a bit more excess, really, when I look at that, but I'm definitely not going to long down here. We'll have to pivot and hold. It will have to pivot and hold. So guys, trying to catch up with what you guys are saying in chat. I've missed some of this, sorry. To enable subtitles in your videos, you as a creator must activate the feature on YouTube Studio. Go to settings. Unfortunately, I can't hear you because I'm deaf. Go to YouTube settings. See, I can't work out how to do it on the live videos. I want to do it for you. I cannot figure out how to do it when we're live. I'm going to try and have a look now. If anyone knows, let me know. But I can do it on videos that I post, but I can't do it on the live videos at the moment. Language and captions, English. Recording date, remixing, category. Yeah, I can't see a way to do it. I wish I could do it. I would not like nothing more than full inclusion. I don't think there's a way it can do it live, probably because it can't work out what I'm saying, unless there's like an AI tool we can do for it. Yeah, I can't see it. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. If I'm wrong there, I will do some extensive research when I get off stream to try and find it for you. I use Bookmap and Ninja, not Quant Tower. Can you please show the footprint chart on how trapped buyers and sellers are looking like? Yeah. So at the moment, we have some buyers caught up here at 649 and above. And we don't have much excess, is what I was just saying. Like, I'd like to see, if this was like big red, it would feel better. If this was like a big red bar here and we were pivoting up, it would feel better. But we are starting to hold that IB. So I don't love the low of day, but it's not the best auction at the low. On Ninja Trader, how does it look? Does it look a bit better? I mean, there is, on Ninja Trader, I can tell you it's a little bit better at these lows. All right, based on tick data. Right, you can see sellers keep coming here. Like I keep talking about 57s, they keep piling in. You can see on this candle, on this 5-minute candle, 1020, they piled in. This is the imbalance which has now been filled, like we talked about. And they've just piled again and got caught. So like I said, 57s would be a big level, and then 71s. And then we need to pivot above all of that. We need to leave sellers trapped down here. And then if we can put in higher lows and pivot up, I'll be interested. Not before then. I'm not going to play and fish in here in what is a very bearish market overall. It's too risky. If you're bidding here, right, and these sellers win and you get wick down to here and your stops here, you're going to get filled down here. So I'm not going to be willing to do that. I want to see strength, all right, for me to really come and bid in. They're doing a decent job so far, though. It's on the right-hand side of the screen. Maybe you can't enable it while live. Yeah, I can't see how to enable it while live. That's it. Yeah, see, I can do all the automatic captions once it's like finished, but when it's live, it's not giving me a way of doing it. I'm really sorry. I will extensively look into it, and maybe there's a way we can run some AI that listens to my voice and prints it down below. I will have a look for you. I will make an effort to do that. What are we trading? We're trading NQ. Trading NQ. Alex, at 10:15, why does your 1 minute chart have a gap but mine doesn't? I don't know, because TradingView, for whatever reason, has had some fault there, but there's no gap there. It's just whatever data from CME to TradingView has just been terrible there. But there is no gap there. It doesn't exist. You can do it before the stream, really? Okay, I'll have another look, Abdullah. I will try. Tomorrow I'll try, but I couldn't see it. I did look yesterday as well. You're the best. Thanks for your time. You're welcome. All right, they're still trying to bid down here. There's some bids at 550s. Like I said, there is a bigger lot underneath at 500. Yeah, there's a bigger lot still at 500. So I'm still waiting here. I'm not going to go fishing for the longs. We're not fishing for longs today. We'll wait to see if they trap sufficient and start to hold. But we are seeing some sort of compression down here. So maybe a flush, you know, trap even more under here, leave a nice excess and then do it. I mean, that would be really good if we then did it. For that move back up, and we're going to have to respect this guy here and each little node here. So if we do think about this, we'll be trying to get into these. And if we get through this, relief into that. Do I use an indicator to plot the gaps? I do not. I do it everything manually. Is there a solution for bracket trading with Apex on Tradeify? I have no idea. I use NinjaTrader for that reason. Does my course also work on options? Yeah, it works on everything. Even if you don't trade futures, all markets work the same way. It doesn't matter what you trade. All right, starting to see some aggressive buyers try and step in here. Starting to perk my interest a little bit. Oh, you mother cluckers. Right, back to this VPOC. 30s is the level here. 30s and then 70s. So they've got to start basing above some of this to perk my interest. We've got, this is fair value, remember, on the day. This is where we've had the most buyers and sellers operate on the day. I don't love the excess down here. I really don't love the excess down there. It's the only thing that's making me not love it. But it's possible they're going to go for one of these IB to VWAP, what we call the Tyson trade. It's possible. Here they go. They're moving VPOC up. And there we go. Dirty. They're going to make this very, very, very hard to get involved. But we held above those 60s or 57s at the lows. Oh my God, look at this. This is 100 points already off that. Well, these sellers are about to get wrecked. All right, so if we start basing here, they were going to get that VWAP trade. We're going to have to watch these nodes here into the top side of the gap. In it early. Nice, Tyson. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. I would just be careful into this sort of top of this grey box that we're at now. You want pullback to hold VPOC now. If you hold point of control and they base, you got a shot. You got a shot at it. This is your target. Target 1, target 2, I'd say. Like we said, I think we'll get a rotational day. So you'd need this to hold here. You do not want it under this now. It must hold there or above and then come into this and this. So here we go, back towards VPOC coming now. They've got a hold above this now. Failing to do that will mean nothing. No interest. It's a good hold into the low volume node. Watching 20s here. There's VPOC. 20s here to see if they trap into 20s. I'm not long yet, folks. I'm waiting to see if they trap into these 20s because I've got a node there that I'm looking at. Pretty good so far. They've rebid that. Coming back for it again. Someone's flashing at 600 though. It's a rebid. It's a higher low there on Bookmap. Can they squeeze now? Yep. You want to see this guy at 35 move up? Nice. Come on, bid at 35. Move up. Don't just sit there. What was that? He bid 35, pulled it, and then sold it. What a dirty fuck. Oh, I'm out of this. I don't like that. I just put a starter on that last move down on reaction 20s. I don't like what he just did. So I don't know if anyone wants to rewind that, but he bid 35, pulled it, and then sold 40s instantly. Very dirty. They do that now after I've left it because of him. I'd be upset with myself. Right, they're offering 75 now. Hopefully they lift this for you straight to 75s. You want this? There's someone playing around at 13.35 as being a bit of a silly boy. Want him to like stop being a silly boy and just start stepping up here. 50s. If you break this, you should go 65, 75 pretty quickly. Come on. There you go. Boom. There you go. All right. Now they're going to lift. There you go. There you go. Oh, beautiful. Tyson, you're going to get it. All right, so there was the hold of 20s and VPOC. We talked about the higher low. All right, I didn't want to go fishing today. There's the higher low. I had a go, and then I got shaken out, not liking what I saw on the tape. But he came back in, and there's the ripper, and this is your target now. So you can take some off into this node. Be very careful. And then you're looking for VWAP, and then you're looking for sort of 96s. Hopefully this would be down here by that point. So basically 800s. You've got another 100 points in this if they start lifting it, folks, because this will be the rotation, right? This will be the rotation we talked about. This is huge. If they get through that, oh, squeezy, squeezy. But I would imagine the rotation will be to about 800. So definitely some into sort of where we are now. 7s, 715s, squeeze through 715s will lift to 800. Sellers getting trapped at that low, like we talked about. Wasn't huge excess, but we talked about it right here. All right, remember this right here. These sellers down here got trapped twice at the low, and then they pivoted. And look at the delta change, the exchange. We went straight positive delta, and we are lifting now. And we are attacking this shelf at 7s through 7s. We can potentially lift at 8s, but I'd be paying yourself into 7s. Hopefully that made sense. Oh, that's frustrating for me. That's frustrating for me. Was in it, and then I didn't like his spoofy behavior. Can you make a cheat sheet for anchor volume profile? There's a free video for it, Marlon, on my YouTube. You can watch some stuff there. Nice. Lots of you taking the IB to VWAP trade. You're about to get it. Don't be a dick here, though. Make sure there's a big node here. All right. Understand that. You should get it, right? But you must, pay yourself a little bit into this volume node. Huge node here. But through that, you should get New York VWAP. And if you get through 720s, there is a chance to fill all the way back up here in towards this sort of 790s. All right. So I would be paying myself a lot into here, a bit into here, and then the last lot into this, right into this guy here. But you've got to respect this guy here. Please respect this guy here. Anchored to 930. Yeah, anchored to 930. TP's VWAP and value area low. Value area low. Do you mean value area high? Or do you mean previous day value area low? All the way up here. Woof. It's asking a lot. I'd say TP's a little bit now, where we've just been, this node. A little bit 715. Well, a lot now. A bit 715, a bit 800. I would not expect it necessarily to get above 800 based on value. If we do that, you'll see expansion. But like this node here, you see how key this node here is? He's being key. He's important. Rest of today going to rotate around fair value? I think so. Who was that? Samir. Yeah. I think we're going to need to build out some volume. I really think we're going to need to do it. We've had, like I talked about, on the hourlies, all right? Here's your fail break. Look above and fail. There's your first rejection. There's your lower high. The same on silver, guys. Think about the all-time high on silver. Pull back, fail to recover. Okay, we start the sell. There we go. Start the sell. Start the sell. Right, we're going to need to build volume here, right, to get down into here. So either we're going to base here or we're going to return inside, build some volume, little trap, and then come back for it next week. Very possible. Right, we can't, unless they're going to just, if they're just like, we need to be out of everything, this market is fucked. And they can do that, then we will just keep going straight down, all right? The market has done that before, it can do it again. That requires them to just completely want out of all inventory, all right? So when have we done that before? Well, tariffs, all right? When they, if we think about this move here in the tariffs on the daily, failed to make a new high, volume trapped here, went inside, had one more go, and then they went, fuck, all right, this breakdown here, fuck, get me out of all the inventory, and then it was too discounted and they bid it back up. If we look back to every crash, every actual crash, it looks the same, all right, where we get overly aggressive, 24, so this was the carry trade, this was the carry trade, August 24, right, fuck, big inventory dump, over aggressive, lower bowls, pick it back up. COVID will be the same. It will be an aggressive move. Where are you, COVID? Was that it there? Did I just miss it? There. That's the COVID one. All right, straight down. Failed to get back inside. Dump. And we'd have to go back to like 08. Here's one here. 2015. 08 took a while to develop. It actually took to 09 and it was walked. Right, so we did this. Failed to get a new high. Aggressive. Failed to make a new high. And then this one here was the big panic. All right, that's the panic. Look at the 5-day, 20-day, but low bowl. Right, history repeats itself. Same thing. So we're in the same kind of setup here, but we're going to need some liquidity, I think. Unless they go full panic. And remember, we've got earnings tonight as well. Mag earnings still. A gap filled. The only thing left now is this 200-day and this guy right here. So only thing left to really target as a low-hanging fruit. All right. Wait, I'll be right back. Okay. Catching up with what you said. All right, big W. Lots of you got that then. Excited for the Apex account giveaway. Yep, I'll do it out and do it once we get those likes up. How many likes are we at? So there's 1,257 of you watching. We have 465 likes. Guys, I don't think that's very fair. I think that's not fair. Well, the first trade today was for 200 points if you took the full move up. The second trade today, if you took it with me, you only got 80 points. If you continued to hold for the gap fill, you got 330 points. This stream is completely free. It costs you nothing. I teach you as I go. I'd really appreciate it if you could at least hit the like button. Come on, people. Be kind. Be kind, right? It doesn't cost you anything. Alex bought the 20-hour course. Nice. Looking forward to working with you. Alex, you're goated. I just passed 5 evals. Thank you, brother. Love it. Nice work, folks. Nice work. So still the same level down here, right, where we trap those sellers. It's still the same level holding, right? This is why I love Footprint, all right? Down here, we're still not letting these sellers out, all right? We're trading around point of control now. I don't love trading around point of control, but these sellers are still stuck versus 60. If you're a bottom fisher, basically, you can be long versus 60s. You would not want it. You'd want to be as long as close to 60 as possible, and you could risk it. But for me, I'm not a bottom fisher. I don't pick bottoms. It's not what I'm trying to do. I want to wait to see if we rotate. It's very possible, though. Look how we're building this out. This is like a B-shaped profile. All right, we can just build out lots and lots in here. Maybe they snap it this way. Maybe they get lift this way. But this is definitely the rotation that they're starting to build. I would actually like to see this lift. Okay, I want to see this lift. Not necessarily just because I want to get long. It's just going to offer better opportunities for the market for tomorrow and this afternoon if we can just start to lift this up a little bit. Charlie, that's very kind of you. Newbie here from Hong Kong. Thank you very much, Charlie. I'm going to go and get a nice coffee after this stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It sounds like lots of you have had a good day. That's great to hear. Today is my last day to pass my evals. Please help. I mean, I think you've had opportunities, all right? Like, we can only trade what the market's giving us. There was an opportunity here. Like I said, I'm waiting for the higher low. There was an opportunity here. If you wanted to go fishing, you had to respect this node like I talked about. That's why I said I would be selling a big chunk into there. All right. The main trend, remember, is still downside, but we are outside the daily Bollinger Bands. Alex can't draw a B very well today. Right, we're outside the daily Bollinger Band. So your risk assessment for more downside, it's not very good, right? And when we talk about risk reward, maybe we can get down into this, but your positioning, remember when we trade, we are always thinking about what is the location and what is the momentum. Momentum's been great for bearish moves, right? Really, really good for bearish moves and bearish moves. But the location today wasn't very good, which is why we looked for that. The location here for a short is not good, right? We are trading, you'll remember, this is the lowest point we have traded since the 24th of November. All right, we're in February, folks. We don't really want to start a new short position, right? If we're at the lowest point since November, do we? No, 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 no. We don't want to do that. It means we're trying to sell deep in discount to get lower. Very, very risky to do that. So we want to be careful. Alex, I'm an ex-DJ. Bought my Technics 1210s back in 1992. I love the streams and appreciate what you do. Thank you. Hey, awesome, man. Awesome, awesome. What type of stuff did you used to play? Why is everyone long? Not everyone's long. It's not that everyone's long. The short was from here to here. It might very well be that you rotate under it. It might, but there's not, for me, I don't think there's a good short position down here. It's more likely to see relief at the moment, all right? It's more likely to see relief. Unless we build out lots here for another hour or so and then let go, and then even then you've got to be very careful about a failed breakout. But if you do get a sustained breakout, there is a move down to here. I just won't be short down here. It's way, way, way too risky in my mind. That's just how I play it. I was short earlier today up here, like I said. People tuning in here from all over the world. Fantastic. We've got Hong Kong, we've got Sweden in the house, England in the house. Just found your stream on Monday. I caught a trading with you and helped me pass my first eval. Now fighting to keep it. Just take your time, nice and slow. Nice and slow. Don't need to go pushing too hard. Another Flow Zone member. Thank you for joining. Panto Crater, I think that's how you say it. Thank you for joining. Bought your course last week. I watch your streams every day. My trading has improved a lot in this short time. Thank you so much. Hey, nice, Tim. How long does it usually take for Apex to tell you passed your eval? If you've passed it today, you'll get an email after the close tonight, before the open tomorrow. Purchased your course last night. Looking forward to opening my eyes on how the market works. Hey, lots of you joining. I can't wait to work with all of you. First time here from UK. Welcome, welcome. How do you join? How do you join what? The Discord are you talking about? You do the 20-hour course, all right, on my website. Links down below. Or you can see the pinned link above that has everything in there. Can I go over the volume settings? I've got to get that on a Nightbot. I'm going to get Nightbot to tell you this. All right. Anchored volume profile, width 20. All right. Ticks per row is what I have it set to as 2. That's it. And I anchor it to the 9:30 open. All right. That's it. Watching from the UAE. Nice. Nice. I love Dubai. Watching from Essex. Look at this. Look at where everyone's joining in from. It's awesome. Canada, Thailand, Brighton, UK. Big up Brighton. I've got lots of friends there. Sleepy Sam where's this? DSAS, New York, Italy, Germany, Essex, Argentina, Singapore, Sweden, Paris, New Zealand, Colombia, Oklahoma, India, Sydney, Thailand. More from Dubai, Hungary, Amsterdam, Uruguay, Austin. I'm honestly considering a move there very soon. Belgium, more from Brighton. I love it. I've got so many friends in Brighton. I grew up just outside of Brighton, West Sussex, where I grew up. But all my friends, most of them went to Brighton College in Lansing, actually. San Diego, Texas, Philippines, Jordan. Welcome. Morocco living in Essex. I love it. More from Singapore, Denver, Brazil. Lots of you from Texas. Well, maybe we'll do like a get together in Texas if I end up moving there. Florida, New York, Perth, Australia. Love it. Caribbean, France. Wow. South Africa, Nigeria, Atlanta. Wow, guys, this is amazing. So many from Austin. I love it, guys. I'm gonna go and do a recce there soon to see if I want to live there. I've been doing a lot of research. So the 2 areas I've been looking in are just outside of Georgetown, and then one like 15 minutes from Austin, like southeast Austin. I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me where's the best place to live. But I want to be not too far from. I want to be able to walk or a short drive to get like, a decent beer and watch some bands and stuff like that. And then I don't mind being a little bit further out from Austin if I have to be. But are you from Brighton? Did you ever go to drum and bass nights at Volks? No, I used to go to. So growing up, I used to go to Zap and Honey Club, and then I used to DJ in Honey Club. And what were some of the after hours places called down there under the arches? I used to play there a lot, man, back in the day. A lot. British expat in Cyprus. Good move there. Very tax efficient. I was also looking there. Romania, Florida, Vancouver. So many. What other key levels do you look at in the morning? New York Open, VP previous day, high and lows. Yeah, that's it. So previous day value area, high and lows. Previous week value area, and obviously point of controls as well. And the current developing. So previous day, previous week, current developing. And then also obviously the high and any key high and low pivots and any big nodes. I know, guys, like some of you might think, why aren't we talking about trading here? The market's going sideways, all right? We're in like a 100-point rotation range down here. You can see value starting to get tighter and tighter and tighter, right? My expectation is that we're just going to do this for a while. And I don't want to trade range. Anyone who trades with me knows that I do not like trading range. Do we have trap traders at the bottom? Yeah. I will be willing to, I would have been more willing to do that, but now New York VWAP's there. It's becoming less and less interesting for me for the day. So we just have to let this develop, see what we can get, see if there's another trade in the next hour for us. Shoosh in the Arches in Brighton. Was that what it was called? Or is that what it's called now? Trading day is dead today. I mean, it had some, we caught these, right? Had some really good, nice moves. But remember, trap traders, trap shorts, big drive up. Trap longs, big drive down. Build liquidity. We will get a move once it's finished building liquidity, all right? Right, we are in a liquidity building stage now. The market has to build some liquidity for us to get the next move. It will come. It will come. Alex, why not make a detailed video explaining all the indicators you use and how you actually apply them? That way, whenever someone asks the same question, you can simply point them out on the video. Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea. I should probably do that. I mean, there are quite a few videos on my YouTube for it. What most people ask is just they want the settings for this. Everyone seems to ask the settings for this. So I'll probably get Nightbot to just post it in chat. Have I been to Switzerland? Yes, I have. DJ'd in Switzerland. I don't remember the club. But I remember coming out of the club the next morning at the early hours, and it was the first time I'd ever seen a Tesla. Ever. So that would have been like 2014, 2015. Bee Cave and Lakeway is awesome. So Lakeway is northwest, isn't it? I was looking there. That did look really nice. The houses there look lovely. I haven't heard of Bee Cave, so I'll check that out. Horizon now was whoosh. Okay, that makes sense. If you say that we are fine, we'll be buying till lunchtime. Alex, got to let us know. Do we bid or do we hold? Idea for a new song lyrics. Oh, do we bid or do we hold? I get what you're saying. That's funny. It's a good one. How do you know the buyers and sellers were trapped? Because they were aggressively, right? They were aggressively selling down here. So this delta here can be seen on this footprint down here, but even better, it can be seen on NinjaTrader at the lows. All right, so if I bring NT up, all right, right here, these aggressive participants down here and down here, all right, these are market order selling. They're trying to get the breakdown. We can see big delta here at value area low. Did we break below it? No. What then happened? We squeezed up, all right, so bids came back in. Sellers came back in, tried to get back down to that level. They haven't been let out, right? So they got out like break even or as close to, and now we're in this range rotation, all right? So I know sellers are trapped down there because I can quite literally see them trapped down there, right? I can quite literally see them trapped down there. It's not guesswork. It's not like, oh, the candle says so. No, I can literally see where they came in and got themselves stuck. And until they are let out, all right, they will remain stuck. And what I would also be very concerned about today, if I was a short seller, is if too many of them pile in down here and you get this, that is where a bigger squeeze will happen. They will be looking for this down here, but like we talked about, positionally, all right, when we talk about location and momentum, where are we right now? Are we in a good location to be short? All right, are we in a good location to be short? This is not a good location to be short, folks. Down here, this is an awful location to be short. Where were the good locations? Well, the failed breakout. This location here was a great location. This rejection of here yesterday was a great location. This drive up this morning was not a bad location. It wasn't prime. Prime was up here. This location down here, it is terrible. That is a terrible location to be short, all right? Because your risk is for this up here, isn't it? All right, so you don't want to be short down there as a new money short for that when your target is just there. That's a 1-to-1 at best on a swing position. So I don't want to be short down there. I want to manage my expectation. Where we got short this morning was a good location to be short. Why? Let's just think more about trapped volume. Why did we get this flush here this morning? Think about this box. Same condition, right? This box overnight. There's your box overnight. Think about all the volume in here who are buyers. When they get stopped out, what happens? They become sellers. Boom. Then sellers try and sell the low. Idiots. We buy that back to where the trap buyers are. What happens? No acceptance back in. So what happens? All these trap buyers, They start selling break even, boom, back down. Do we want to sell this low? No, we don't. More likely that we're probably going to return up here some point, and then maybe there's a sell. But even that is not prime location, right? Really, the best sell is going to be way up here at some point, right? It's just structure, guys. It is just structure. We don't like selling lows. It's asking for it the same way as we don't like buying highs. Do I use fibs? Yeah, I do. I use returns back inside for fibs, for golden pockets. I use it for extensions as well. Random question, but have you ever been to a Man United game? It's on my bucket list. Well, I'm an Arsenal supporter, so the only game I've been to, which is a Man United game, is United Arsenal. Actually, the last game I went to see United Arsenal was at the SoFi last year in LA. Do flow zones only work on time-based candlesticks? No, they will work on tick charts or anything. Have I noticed value areas differ depending on time frame? Yes, especially for TradingView. The lower time frame that you can draw a value area on or volume on, the more accurate it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just how TradingView processes the data. All right, still waiting for this to build out, guys. I know like we're talking less and less about trading at the moment. We're just waiting for this to build out at the moment. All right. What are you guys saying? Sorry. Why would you not short sellers not hit their stop loss already? Do you hold on for dear life? Why would the short sellers not have hit their stop loss? In this move up here, I mean, they might well have done above this for sure. And then if those sellers became buyers, all right, then it let the market makers sell back into them for sure. Like that's what happened up there. But I would not guarantee they all hit it. You'd be surprised how long people hold on for. But I get what you're saying. I'm with you, but you would be very surprised. What is that volume profile on the right on the daily chart? Let me get over to it. Oh, okay. So this is pivoted off the all-time high. All right. So this is off the all-time high. So it's showing all the volume created from here. So all of this, and this one here is for the last 12 months. All right. So I know that this level here is a big node. See this node? We've left it. All right. We might travel back into here. And if we get really lucky down to here, all right, but it's very possible we're going to need some form of retest of this first, isn't it? Over the next day or week, retest this. And if they resell that, or this node here, or this node here, then we can look for this move here. And then Alex is probably going to be thinking about being a buyer somewhere down here, unless we're going to get very heavy and let the whole thing go. But I might start being a speculatory buyer down here, because that will be then, I think, from the highs. So I'm high down to 200 day, we 10%. And if we can get into this node, yeah, 10.33%. If we come all the way back down to this pivot, it'll be a 12% pullback, which would still be healthy. So somewhere in here is probably a very healthy pullback. It's probably a very, very healthy pullback. Alex, Austin traffic is worse than LA, way behind on infrastructure, still better in Texas and California. Yeah, I know, man. I know. But the taxes are better. The taxes are better, and I might fancy a change. I'll see. I think we swipe the lows and then ping up on ES, S2, and NQ below the S2 pivot, big value area on ES. Well, ES, yeah, you're about to sweep the lows now. Well, we all are about on everything right now. VIX still holding price up. Like I said, I think I would be watching the 75s on SPY. You've still got another $1 to go there on the SPY. I'd be watching those 75s. I imagine there's a big area there. Arsenal doing good at the moment. We're doing great, man. We're doing great. We'll see how we go the next couple months. Going to the World Cup? Yeah, I'll definitely be going to the World Cup. I applied for lottery tickets here. Didn't get any. Did not get any, but I applied, so I'll probably just have to buy some. All right, still holding there. So you got divergence. These sellers are still stuck right now under here. You have divergence. ES just swiped the low, NQ didn't. Still too early. Like I said, I will not be fishing down here. I'm not going to be fishing today. It was going to have to pivot and hold. What time frame is this? 1 minute time frame, guys. Purple cloud, deep flow zone, EMA 72.89. Do I think we chop around for the rest of the day? Yeah, I do. I do. Is the only thing, right, is if they are adamant on just keeping selling, then they can use this volume to go lower. But I think we will do some bullshit for the rest of the day. Just because of where we are on the daily. I think it's going to struggle to keep moving too much lower. I'll give you a readout on the MAG, right? Tesla, 3.60% down. Nvidia, 1% down. Microsoft, 3.37% down. Meta, pretty much flat. Google, 3.80% down. Amazon, 4.39% down. Apple, 1% down. Overall, we're 1.61% down. If we look at the daily, if we think about the size of the move this week, it's now, we go from the high of this week. Where's, so folks, let me just measure this out. Wednesday, Monday. So we go from the high of this week to the low. All right, we are almost 1,500 points down on the week. If we measure out a sigma from like Bollinger, and we do a third standard deviation of the Bollinger right now, where is that? It would actually take us to the 20-day. So we're at about 2.5 standard deviations from the 20-day right now. So remember I'll get you on the chart. So remember the 20-day is our mean, right? Bollinger's are 2 standard deviations. We're about a 2.5 because we're at the midpoint of this. A 3 standard deviation will take us right down into this. It's very, 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 very unlikely. It's possible, but it's very unusual that we do standard deviation moves outside of 2. We're at 2.5. To get to 3 is asking a lot. You are going to need mass panic in the market to do that. It's not to say it can't happen, but it's unlikely. Okay, it's unlikely. Even if you just want to like look at the pivot on like NQ1, right? We are trading right into the August highs. So if we just go, I'm going to put you on NQ1, okay, rather than the H contract, just for a second. We are coming right into these pivots. All right, we're right into this high of August. All right, we're asking a lot for it to just do this, right, in one go. What's more reasonable is like a back test of this and then down here, all right, and into this basket where we went sideways for a while. And then we broke out from, retested, broke out, undercut, retested, held, fell, breakout, back down, probably retest here, somewhere in here. It's probably coming at some point. All right, so they're asking a lot to keep just driving lower and lower and lower and lower without a back test. Manage your expectations, right? That's why I wouldn't be short down here. For me, we left Cali for Oklahoma a few years ago. Love it out here. Have you seen gas is 188 a gallon? Well, there you go, Jason. Exactly that. If there is a negative to using Bookmap on Think or Swim compared to the actual application, I've never used it on Think or Swim, so I can't comment. I cannot comment. Property tax there sucks. Yeah, it does, but it would still be far less than I pay in total tax here for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'll consider anywhere. I'm considering Miami as well. I will consider anywhere. Alex, the order flow course is more for mean reversion. I use volume profile for mean reversion. It's for everything. It's for everything because anything's possible once you understand the order flow. But yeah, a lot of people use order flow for mean reversion. It can lure you into bottom picking. So you want to be careful with that. Have I seen a 20-day moving average plus Bollinger Bands 1 standard deviation up? Have you You have a it's a 20-day with normal standard deviation, with normal Bollinger Bands are 2 standard deviations. Nice, Rick. Moved from LA to Dallas in 2021. Outside of the ocean, I haven't thought about Los Angeles. Yeah, that's the one thing. It is the ocean. That's the one thing that I have to let go of, which is really hard because I live very close to it. I can literally see it from where I live. I can cycle there in 5 minutes. Okay, so they're coming down for the swipe. Remember, they keep getting stuck down here. There's a swipe and a return back inside instantly. More sellers just got caught down there again, folks. More sellers have got caught down there again. I'd still think SPY might want to come to 75 and ES maybe to that whole number of 800. You're close, though. Look at that return straight back inside. Straight back inside for the lift. Back to point of control. I would watch this long now. If they swipe and reclaim point of control, which they are trying to. All right. Watching this. Looking for this long now. Said I wouldn't do it, but this is too good to miss. They just caught everyone off guard down there. Here we go. Let's watch this imbalance into 23s. I'm long. See if we can get through 23s and start to really squeeze. There's the 23 tap. I'm already long. I will add into this if we start to firm up here. Here we go. So those sellers at the low of day are absolute wallies. Here we go, folks. All right, next imbalance can take us all the way up to 650 and 63s. So I want all pullbacks to hold here and just see this expansion up towards the top side of this to 92s. Is right. I'm trying to attack from here now, the reclaim through this, selling some here, and if we can get through 92s, great, and then we'll look for that same move. So they got caught lower day again. Again. Look at the delta, lower day. Look at the delta, lower day. These silly people keep trying to sell the lows. That's who we're going to use their pain to go higher, right? Silly, silly people. Lovely. All right, and just holding a little piece now. So if the pullback holds 600, I'll sit in this. If we pull back and hold 600, I will sit in this. If we pull back and hold 600, I will sit in this. Already selling some into here and try and get up into this. And if we get over that, the squeeze is on. So imbalances here right now into 53 up to 52. Here we go. 53s up to 62s. Filling the first 53s. Here we go, folks. Here we go. All right, let's see if we can get up into 93s. If we get through 93s, the squeeze is on, like I've talked about. These silly people at the low of days, they just don't learn, do they? They just don't learn. Pew, 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 pew. Come on, we want to just lift up in the 92s. We've only got a little bit left. Only got a little bit left. I want to lift into 92s. Remember, we're thin up. That was a squeeze up. So they can flush back down. We don't want that flush back down to the POC. We want a base now above this node here. We want a base above 34s. We want a base above this for a continuation squeeze. Base above this guy here, ideally, to here, and then up into here if we get lucky. All because they got stuck. All because Alex knew they would get stuck down there because they are just silly people. What did I say? Don't short the low days. 100 points later. 110 points later. So I'm long from this turnaround. I'm already partialing out. Let's see if we can get VWAP. We were looking for this here, 92s, and if we can get VWAP 707s, and then really I'd love to get 800s. This is what we're long in at the moment, folks. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Let's do it. I want this to hold now, 57s. They can afford a drift to 36s, but I'd love 57s to hold. I feel more comfortable. Here we go. Don't fuck with me. been in this game too long. You. All right, lots of you in this with me. Nice. One of you up 4K today. Love to see it. Hi, Alex. The 20-hour course, is it on demand or live? It's on demand, so you can watch it as many times as you want. It comes with a set of the indicators, right? A version of this for free and the Discord for free, all right? All included. It's on demand. 20 hours, watch as many times as you want, and Discord. And then I do private, well, we do group lessons in Discord every 2 weeks. Yeah, look at you guys. Look at all you guys long in this. Love it. How long have I been trading? I started yesterday. This is my first ever day yesterday. It's guesswork, this. Here we go. Yay! All right, runners now. Runners now. If we get lucky, we're going to get the 800s. But I'm 80% out of this now, and it's runners now only. All right, so 80% out of this into here. 20% in case we want to do something nasty up into this, okay? And I will move my stop up to protect these 60s now. Do not want it under these. Like I said, don't follow me, guys. I'm just a stupid 40-year-old man with a dodgy, patchy beard and glasses on YouTube. Don't listen to me. Hi, Alex. What ATM strategies do you use? Are they ATR based, or do you enter with SL and stop loss? No, they're just automatic based on me. So I do like wide stops. So it's like 40-point stop and like a 50 to 100-point profit, and then I move them instantly to where I want. Right. So that all they really do is make sure that I'm positioning my limits where I want them. That's all they do. Yeah, we all got it. We all got it. We had to wait for it. But we've hit our TP, so we're just a little bit. Banger of the day. It is another banger of the day. You know why it's a banger of the day? Because the market is leaving volume and trapping volume, and that's what we like. Like, you see how when we were down here, guys, you see how we started talking about me moving to Texas, and like we did a few lessons, and I said we will do something once we've trapped enough, and I would not short the low of day because they keep getting trapped down here. I said it a million times. They did it again. The turnaround. Here we go. So 800s on deck now if we can get going above this green box. Right, 800 is on deck. We might get a runner to 800 here. It would be lovely if we can get up into this node. I'm going to call it 800. It's actually more. We're going to have to watch New York Open. We're going to have to watch 70. Is that New York Open? I just want to make sure. It is. All right, we're watching here for 70s up to 800s. Okay, 70s up to 800s is our target here. And I don't want to hear anyone say I didn't know what we were looking for. I literally spelt it out the whole time we were down here. Would I recommend getting out of TradingView into Ninja to get most additional value of the indicators? It's personal preference. For me, yeah, I love NinjaTrader. Like, but it is personal preference. And a top knot. Yeah, and a top knot. Thanks, Adam. And a top knot. And stupid glasses. And massive guns. Best ICT trader out there. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Babyface. Oh, I'll take that. I'm English, not Aussie. English, not Aussie. Here we go. Can we lift? All right, you'd want it to defend 90s now. I might move my stop up to 90s here, or just under VWAP. I'd want it to defend sort of this area here now, 90s. I don't want it to flush under that. We're almost there, but I'm not going to give this whole squeeze back. All right, so I'm going to probably risk 90s here. What's this level right under here? 88s. Let's risk 88s. So stop moved up to here. Remember, I've taken most of it off. About to get washed out here on the runner. Is what it is. But that was still really good. All right, we almost got all the way. Maybe some of you want to hold longer, but I'm not going to hold through that. I think the best fill I got here was 720s. I just don't want to risk this coming back down here and setting a higher low down here before it has another go, because now This can be a failed breakout of that again, and it can come back into the range again. So I don't want to position myself here for that. It's too risky. Same as that's like positioning yourself short for that. All right, so we got the rotation. Maybe some of you are willing to hold a runner longer. You might still get it. I do think it wants to try and lift up into here, but I got my target, right? So ES also hit New York VWAP. Where was my original stop loss? Right into the lows, basically. I can tell you because I did it on NT. It was into 60s, all right? And this is why. Oh, you're going to get it. Right, see this? Big seller here came in. They market sold underneath. We reclaimed. Once we ripped through that, I did not want it to come back under 60s. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you can see that. This is where the seller's pain point was. So that was, I literally moved straight to 60s. I'm like, no reason to come back. Oh, this is going to fucking go after doing a dirty on me. You see you next Tuesday. What did I do? 88s. Oh, you bastard. You bastard. You couldn't hold that shelf for me, could you? Fuck me. I'm going to miss another 100 here. Right. Alex is going to use the bathroom here, and we all know what happens when Alex uses the bathroom. All right, I'll be right back. When I'm back, we will do some giveaways. Don't go anywhere, and yeah, hold your runners if you can get up into here. You can all laugh at me for cutting it. All right, folks, be right back. Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. We all know where it's going. Alex, you numpty. Oh my God. All right, get ready here for the blue line and green line and VWAP. All right, get ready here. If they do something very nasty here, guys, all right, so your TPs are into this block here. I can't believe they knocked me out to do that. Your TPs are into here. If they rip through this, it is worth holding a little piece in case they come right back for this. All right, so I would be like 80, 90% out here. It is worth holding a little piece in case they come back for this. It is possible, right? You're going to get this for sure. It is possible they do this. It is possible they do this if they get a close and a hold over 800. So you can hold a little piece for that. I'm coming right back. I'm going to get some milk for this. I'm sulking now. I am sulking. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, guys, make sure you're paying yourself. I'd say like at least 80%. All right, you probably took some here, some here. There's no guarantee we go higher, but you can hold like, if you were trading micros, say you had like 10 micros on or 20 micros on, you could hold 1 or 2 just in case you do this full move. But the high probability move was to here, to this node. You can see previous lows, New York Open, VWAP, all here. And yeah, if you got that, you know, it's funny, isn't it? We're in a market where I can get 120 points and I feel gutted because the market's giving us 200 and 300 point trades. So I've had a, what was this one today? We had a 200 point ripper to start the day. I got only 80 points out of a 330 point one then, and I've only got 100 out of this 200 one, and this might offer you 300 up to here. You might very well get a 300 point trade here again, guys. Hopefully some of you got this target here, didn't stop out where I stopped out at 88, so you... It's funny, isn't it? When 100 points isn't good enough anymore. It's all right. You can watch other YouTubers who trade for 8 ticks. Good luck with that. How are you ever going to make money doing that? All right. Nice. Lots of you passing accounts or taking big money out of this, right? Am I short 800? No, absolutely not. No reason to be short. Zero reason to be short now. Right. What's the difference between TradingView and NinjaTrader indicators? It's just a different package. They're on different sites. There you go. Nice work. Nice work. The Tyson trade paying, all right? Anyone knows, why do we call it the Tyson trade? I banned Tyson from taking any other trade than this to here and here for a while, all right? When we talk about knowing our trade setups, adding one tool at a time, all right? Tyson's been a student of mine probably for about a year now. Is it Tyson? Something like that. And this is his bread and butter, IB to VWAP. This is his trade. And all you need is that trade each day. All the IB expansion, we're in expansion mode, and you ignore everything else. You just wait for that trade to set up and it will pay you. All right. And that's what we call, you know, using your toolbox, having a toolbox, right? So you got to know, I have many different tools in my toolbox now, but I've been around the block for a little while. When you start, find something that works for you. Maybe it's the opening range trade. Maybe it's the IB trade. Maybe it's a pro trend. Maybe it's a counter trend, whatever it is. All right. And we talk about the book that I think you should read for that. And like I always say, golf is not a game of perfect, right? You can go and read that book, very short little book, but basically about when you start being a beginner and playing golf, you want to get around the golf course with an 8 iron. You don't want to be getting out, you know, your big Bertha driver and hooking it left, right, and all over the place because you want to show off. But in actual fact, all you do is you get frustrated, you snap your golf club over your knee, and then you need to go and buy another one. But if you got your 8 iron out, all right, you might come in 10 over par or whatever for the whole 18 holes, but you probably keep your balls, you don't be frustrated, and you play some decent shots. I know, Fresh Trader. I know it is. I know it is. I might have to rethink stuff. I'm trying to play off nodes, and sometimes they're just swiping me. I might have to give stuff a little bit more room. Look, we're starting to base over this New York Open now. ES is still not at its 24-hour VWAP or New York Open. This has got a shot here. This has got a shot here. Do not be a new money long, but if you're long in this, this has got a shot of this. All right. If we collapse this, this is your rotation back down. We have some nodes here that might come and protect. So you'd want this to base, but if it can base here, you've got a shot. You have absolutely got a shot at it. What's that about micros and contracts? Oh, well, if you're trading minis, right? So depending on size account, right? It's very unlikely you're trading like 10 plus minis down here, isn't it? Or 5 minis, right? Unless you've got a massive account or unless you're way, way over leveraged and risk. So it's more likely that you're probably trading micros or maybe 1 or 2 minis. So if you're trading 1 or 2 minis, then you'd be taking one off there and maybe you're one off here, or maybe you're just moving your stop real tight trading that one. If you're trading micros, right, for the difference of 1 to 2 minis, you could be trading 10 to 20 micros, for example. You could maybe just be trading 5 micros. So we come up here, let's say you're 10 micros long. All right, so we sell 3, we sell maybe 3 more, and we hold, you know, the last 4 to get up here. Or maybe you sell 4 and 4, and you're holding 2 in case you get up here, for example. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility to capture the full move. And it's also very good for, you know, being used to sitting in the moves, right? If you're trading minis, especially if you're new, you're probably seeing it up here and you're like, oh, I'm up $300. I'm done. And then you're going to watch it do this whole move without you because you haven't built up the tolerance and resilience to understand that this can do this. Just passed my first ever eval watching you. Nice. Congratulations. The only thing with micros is that it will cost you more for the round trip, right? 10 micros versus 1 mini will cost you a little bit more from the round trip. But like if you wanted to move from 1 mini to 2 minis, I'd say you'd be better off moving from 1 mini to 15 micros than jumping right up to 2 minis. But it's going to cost you more. But, you know, the jump from, you literally doubling your risk. You go from 1 mini to 2 minis, you're doubling your risk, right? You've gone from 200 points, $200 per 10 points to $400 per 10 points. All right. And if you've got 20, 30 point risk, you're going to get wrecked real quick. Lots of you killing this. Order flows, 3K across 2 TPT Pro accounts. Congratulations. I love it. I love trading with Take Profit Traders. One of my favorites to trade with. Regular payouts from there. I really like it. If any of you are interested, I should probably promote these guys as they all help us. Code FlowZone for Take Profit Trader would get you 40% off with no activation fee. Use code FCT for everything else. The Tyson trade strikes again. Yeah, it does indeed. It does indeed. Hey Alex, I just win on the funded account, but on Ninja I have a total P&L 1,146 and a gross of 1,246. Can you explain the deal of the gross not realized? That's your cost. So you've spent like $200 your cost, right? So your in and out, your contract cost, however many trades you've taken today is why. Your net is all that matters. Alex, please explain the IB to VWAP or the IB high or low to New York VWAP on the daily VWAP. Please can you explain? Is the IB to VWAP? Oh, it's both. It's both. It just depends what they're looking to do on that day, which is why I always respect both. I would always be a partial. I wouldn't be looking to trade one. And we stop at both. Same. See, look, we started here. We starting here. ES will be the same. Right? IB, New York VWAP, stop start, extension, 24-hour VWAP, New York open here. Stop start here. Might pull back to here at some point now. All right, so that's why I say like take partials into both. It really depends. Sometimes they're lined up and they're very close together. Other days they're really far apart. It all depends what happened overnight, really. Do I trade across Apex, TPT, Lucid all at once if it's not too personal? I'm actually not doing that at the moment. I was doing it, and what I was finding is too many accounts and they'd be lagging, and then some wouldn't fill and stuff. So I'm trading in blocks at the moment. Is how I'm trading them, like 5 to 10 at a time blocks. For some reason, I don't think the trade copier liked all the different accounts. I'd get like errors, mainly on my TPT ones. I kept getting errors when they were trading with the other firms for some reason. One runner left. Yeah, nice. It's still, look, it's still holding this node. There is a chance to come up into this node, like we've talked about. There is a chance to come up into this node. What's the ticker? This is NQ. You're looking at NQ for anyone just joining. What are your confluences taking the trade? Trapped participants, right? Understanding what type of day we're in, understanding the location, and then looking for trapped participants. You would have heard me today. I wanted to get long here for this. We got long there for that once shorts were trapped. I wanted to get short here once we left this for a move back down to here. And then Alex sold or covered before the news, and we pooped the whole way down for the gap fill. Once we filled the gap, the market is now efficient, right? There's no reason for this market to go lower in one go. We know that shorts kept getting stuck down here. We know that we're at 2.5 standard deviations on a daily. That is unsustainable on a daily. So we are not going to sell the low of day, low of week, low of month, low of quarter, low of contract. It's fucking psychopath move to do that when you understand what it is. So what are we going to look for? These trap sellers who don't understand that to come piling in, and we're going to position their pain point against them for the mean reversion back up. Thank you. That's it. There's the confluence. We're in a range rotation. We've built out traders. We have trap shorts at the lows. We trade the other way to them. There you go. That's the confluence. How do I see that? Order flow. That's how I see it. Sorry, guys. I'm sure some of you are typing a lot here. I'm trying to catch up with the chat. Give me a second. I'm trying to catch up with the chat. Look at SPY as well. It hit the 75s. Didn't come flat into 75s, but hit 75s. Q's hit the 93s on that little nasty flash as well. Really good. Okay, I would cut this now if I was you. You don't want to have this drift all the way down, but you know, you manage as you want, but there can be a retest of the 713s. If they don't hold New York open, they can retest right down into here. You do not, that we're straight up, you do not want to give all this back, right? You do not want to give all this back on the long. Still think there's a chance for it to come up here, but I would not be willing to see that move happen and hold it if I was you. I'm already out, like we said. I'd be 80+% out where we are, because this was the target. This node here was the target, right? The runner, if you got very lucky, would be up here. And how we operate down here now becomes key, because this is the base out. Failed break, up. How we operate here now becomes key. If they base out here, they will have another go to get higher if they base out down here. Right? Because that's where all the sellers are now stuck. So this would be a breakout, retest. If they hold this retest, something like this, you can potentially get long back up. If we come back into here, I would just leave this zone alone for the rest of the day. I would not touch anything from 700 to 550 for the rest of the day. Completely ignore that zone. In my mind, that's how I would trade it. Do I see a short opportunity? Not right now. Not unless we do something nasty. Maybe up into all of this. Maybe, but right, not right now. Not right now. I think the shorts are gone for me for a while. We need to build out liquidity for a while now before we think about any more short trades. Okay, just based on where we are, higher time frames. Based on where we are, higher time frames. What does IB stand for? Initial balance. Does your trading course include the order flow as well, or do I need to get the volume order flow course separately? You can get it as a bundle. You'll save like $100 or $150 if you get them both at once. It might well get up here. You might well get your targets here, folks. We will see. Is it smart to move stop loss to break even as soon as available? No. It caused me to lose some trades, but also saved me from losers. If you're positioning well, you shouldn't really be moving to break even until the run has proved itself, right? Depends on what you're doing. Like in something like this, I will move to break even. The moment we accelerate away and we break out, okay, I'm break even. It's got no reason to come back down below this, all right? And then I'll hold. But like it depends on your positioning. Like if you got break even too early here, you're going to get knocked out 3 or 4 times, right, before it does that move, which does happen to me sometimes. But you don't want to move break even too quick. You want to move break even when the trade's proven itself to you. Can it hit today's high? What do you mean by today's high? Globex high or New York high? It can hit New York high potentially. It's got to get through all of this first, right? So it's got to get over this to this. Then we probably do this for a bit. And if it does this, we could fill this gap, which we haven't filled. We could come up into this value area and we could hit that potentially. To get into high of day up here, which is Globex, we're asking quite a lot of it. But can't rule it out. I would say it's more likely that we just rotate. Why not back to VPOC? I mean, it could come all the way back down to here, but we've just broken out of here. So we would think that it might want to hold this first, then assuming it comes all the way back down. It's possible, but it would need to get under this first. So I think there's probably this builds out first, unless they complete this in one go. So I would be very, very careful about thinking about being shorts here, because it could do this, 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 this. And now you've got VWAP above this key level and trap players down here and VPOC down here now. This looks like potential to be nasty for the rest of the day in the rotation. You're on a 50K looking to pass a combine today. Okay, I don't see a question there though, Mopar. Can you work out trap traders without books? I guess you could be like, well, there's a wick there and we reclaimed and it could get long, but you don't know what's actually inside there. We identified them from here this morning, right? We knew their exact position where they were trapped from early on this morning. All right, so here you go. It's coming back for this now. It's going to come and back test this. So if buyers step in here, they will have another go. And then if they use this liquidity, they'll go higher. If they step in and they fail this, the rotation will happen. Like I said, I would be done. Personally, I'd be done with this for the day at this point. Or you've got 15 minutes to lunch. We're going to do giveaways. We're going to do some giveaways. Relatively new trader coming from ICT. What's the best way to beginning learning this style of trading without dropping money on a course just yet? Tons on my YouTube for free, my friend. Right, so I would do, if I was going to start, if you're already experienced, you understand structure and all that stuff, if you've been watching ICT, then go and look at, there's a section on my YouTube for free all about volume, right? Go and understand volume. And that is a good place for you to start. And if you've learned ICT and you understand fair value gaps and stuff, the volume stuff is going to start to make sense to you very, very quickly. If you understand all the blocks and all that stuff, then you're going to see, but you're going to see it being, in my mind, more accurate to exact, precise levels. So it's all for free on my YouTube. You can start there. What volume indicator am I using? Anchored volume profile. Alex has got to write this down. Can you describe how you came up with this gap? This gap here, it was a daily gap. We went over it right here. Untested right here. You see this gap? It's from a Friday to a Monday. So from the 21st of November into the 24th of November. All right, we closed the 21st here. We gapped up. We never filled it. All right, we had a little dig in, but we never filled it. We have now filled it in a New York session. All right, in a New York session, we have filled this gap. That is an efficient market. That is what the market likes to do. That's how we came up with a gap. That's why you've got to look really far back for like untested gaps. What do you make of this 820? Looking left, been a big resistance since overnight. 820. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a key level. That's why we've got the grey box there, the nodes here or hereabouts. Over 820, though, we're very thin in New York up to here. So a break over this. What I'd be very careful about, like I talk about, is something like this happening for the rest of the day. So I'd be very careful. The shorts, I guess, technically, if we're going to do a rotation day, all right, it could be a short back down to here, but I do not like that. Not now that we've left this, all right? All the sellers are trapped down here. My expectation would be if buyers want to step in, they want to step in down here. Remember, we are deep discount down here on every single, even on the current year, we would be deep discount down here. All right, so it's very possible it wants to come a bit higher before they resell. That's not to say you can't scalp it, but remember, I'm looking to position on highly probable multi-time frame moves. Any reason you use NinjaTrader instead of Tradeify integrated into TradingView? Yeah, way faster in executions, way better in terms of data, way better in terms of hotkeys and ATM. Just for me, way better. Even like the order flow that I use, right? Maybe you've just joined. Like I can't have anything like this on TradingView. Like this is so good for me. Like it's so key. Look how clearly we identified. Here's the trap seller at 60. There's VPOC. There's the squeeze. Thanks very much. Where are we going to? The other side of value. All right. And we're still holding above these pivots. Look in here. This is where that seller got trapped. 40. All right. 40. We're still holding 40. I wouldn't know any of this on TradingView. So that's why it's look at the what did we just talk about, folks? What did we just talk about? Holding around here. But something like this can be possible. I literally just told you it. That's not me being arrogant, but that's why I'm saying like you've got to understand who's trapped now. These shorts are trapped down here. They are not being let out. There's the pullback. If they build this liquidity now, the squeeze will happen back to here. Okay? I'm not like a genius, guys. Like I'm telling you this because this is just how the market moves. These are the rules of engagement to the market. The trade copier, yeah, I can post it, Jay. Give me a second, just finding it for you. There you go, Jay. Just posted it for you. I'm new to trading. Start watching your stream. Are you providing any training courses? Yeah, they're all on my website. All the links are down below. Flowzonetrader.com. All the links are down below. Like I always say, if you're brand new, if you've turned up here for the first day, go and do everything for free on my YouTube first. Don't go and spend a load of money. Here you go, folks. Don't say I didn't tell you. Don't say I didn't tell you. ES into New York Open here. All right, big level ES here. If ES gets through the New York Open, then it can afford to squeeze up to 63. So this big level here, ES at 53, is 10 points higher if it wants to do it. We've just swiped here. So you want to see a base out now and hold. You do not want to see them stuff this. Let me see who got caught in this. You do not want to see them stuff this with buyers caught. We're going to get any data. There we go. So some buyers got caught above 26s. So they need to get back above the 26s here on the Qs. And then we're going to get a move up into these 80s. And you're going to get full TP if you held through that. Or if you bought that dip into flow zones for, like I said, I wouldn't be short here. I think they'll probably reclaim. I would cut the long and then they'll probably reclaim. And here we go. Like I said, don't know what I'm talking about. How long have I been trading for? Full time, like 6 or 7 years. But I mean, I started when I was 21, so half my life ago. Yeah, whoever went short at the bottom haven't done Alex's course. Quite right. Nice, Morgan. Looking forward to working with you. Passed an eval. I made good money on my funded account. Thanks, Alex. It's been a great day. Hey, I love it. Love it, guys. Would it be smart to start looking for a short down to lows of day? Not right now. Right, we just went over this. Maybe you said that before. Remember, shorts are caught in here right now. Here's the rotation, and lots of them caught at the lows. We have broken out, all right? This is a very small Wyckoff type thing, right? This little wick here, there's a failed breakout. There's your spring. There's your sign of strength. There's the pullback to hold. There's the volume, all right? This is a key level now. If we hold this, the rotation is on, and they have reasons to go higher. We can come and test previous day value area low. We can come and test the IB. We can come and close the New York gap. We can come up to current profile from the developing week. We can come and test this naked point of control. We can come all the way up here. If they want to really fucking send it, they can. So why be short against this right now? Look at the structure we've left. This is bullish structure, right? This is bearish structure. This is flattening. This is breakout, pullback, hold. We're in the next leg higher. Do not be trying to short this. You will be guessing for the rotation, which is not given you. Same way down here. We don't just long for no reason. We wait. It's got a good reason to come up into this node. And it's possible if we get through this grey box, I would not rule out this. I would not rule out that. That is a 500 fucking point trade, but it's possible. It would take a long time to get there, but probable is to here right now, is to like 90s. Possible is a 500 point trade up there. Sorry guys, trying to catch up with chat here. What does the flow zone course cover? Everything's on the website, guys. So I tell you, all these questions you're asking is on the website. So in the 20-hour course, we do like fundamentals, technical, advanced market structure, smart money concept, Malaysian SNR, supply and demand, pattern recognition, market maker models, psychology, risk reward, my playbook, and a ton more. And then you also get the flow zone indicator, a version of this. Right, you can upgrade for the pro, but a version of this, which plots all the key levels for you, and the Discord, all included. In the volume and order flow course, we go over auction theory, volume profile, profile types, developing profiles, delta, bookmap, footprints, and my playbook and repeatable setups. All right, but there's no inclusion into Discord and no indicator in that. So it all depends. It's all up to you guys. If you get them together for a bundle, you'll save some money. Here you go, guys. You're about to hit the next TP. All right, grey box. All right, if you're really fucking lucky here, you might get a 500 point banger. Pardon my French. Yeah, all the links are pinned above, guys. Alex, just heard your stop loss TP starting point. Any recommendations for utilizing these great calls while Apex funded until the buffer? What do you mean, Mike? Oh, you mean for my ATM? Until you're past the buffer, you want to trail very aggressively and you want to take profits like aggressively. So like if you're trading Apex, like you want to trim some here, you want to trim some here, you want to trim some here, you want to move your stop up with it. If this doesn't hold this grey box now, be careful of a flush back down. What's the time here? Coming into the new hour. So they almost got there. They were just shy by the tiniest bit here. They might well hold this grey box still. This is still your key level. You do not want them to lose this. All right, this is where they're trying to complete. We missed it by, what, like 20 points? If they hold this, they're going to have one more shot at it. So this grey box, see this grey box, this volume node, they're still bidding off this, trying to get up into here. All right, you don't need to cut the trade until you come under that grey box. Under that grey box, you cut this trade. Is it okay if I use 2,000 ticks on MS? You'd have to backtest it for your strategy, but it's okay to use it. Yeah, anything works, right? Anything works. Yeah, the trading view is, what do they call it, pro or whatever it is. You'll need one of those accounts. You're best to get it off in the sale, Nick. They do sales like 2 or 3 times a year where you'll save like 70 or 80%. That's when you want to buy it. I watch you on TV, so had to go online. You are the man. You are the man from Oklahoma. Oh, thanks, Max Payne. New here to your channel. How would you recommend? How would you recommend before buying? I'm not sure what you mean. Sorry. Let me know what you mean. Alex, do I have a personal account with Ninja? Not with Ninja. I did. I moved it. And they closed it because I had it set as a UK citizen. And I couldn't move it over to when I got my green card. So I closed it. I have personal accounts elsewhere, though. Quick explanation of an order block. Man, like order blocks are just support resistance, just made more complicated. That's all it is. Right? This here, resistance becomes support. This here, resistance becomes support. We want to call that an order block. You call it whatever you fucking want. Right? This here, support becomes resistance. Support becomes resistance. That's all it is. Can say it's some magic fucking thing, but it isn't. Right? It's SNR. It's just SNR, just regurgitated. I don't care what anyone says. It is SNR regurgitated. Alex, how long did it take you to get an understanding and grasp of futures, and when did you finally get that aha moment? It took, like, I'll be honest, it took me a while to adapt to futures. Moving from small caps was hard. Small caps you have to trade like in a very, very different manner to the rest of the market, especially when they're really aggressive, when they're like gapping 100, 200, 300 points. Moving from small caps to mids and large like took a little bit of developing. Moving from that to futures, it took me a while to understand sizing, to understand the leverage, to really utilize the best features that we have for futures. Futures are a centralized exchange, very different to trading stocks. When I was trading stocks, I'd be using scanners and I'd be using the level 2, but obviously on the level 2, you're looking at like 3 to 5 different exchanges trading that one stock, and it's very easy for them to hide contracts doing that. The best thing about futures is it's centralized on CME. So we have centralized data. They can't hide in the same way. And that's why it's, for me, where the edge is, right? For me, where the edge is understanding we have all the data in front of us. It's quite literally showing you who's trapped, where they're trapped, where the levels are. It's just, do you have the discipline and understanding? That took me a little bit of time. From then, it became much easier. Does the indicator in the course include the grey boxes? No indicator includes these. I draw these on. You can draw these on. Look, all you have to do is get the profile and draw them on based on the profile. All right, if we start losing this, I would cut this trade. This is a failed opportunity to break higher. They might be really dirty and dip down to 45s, but I would cut this trade now that you're losing this. Personally, I would not be holding on to this. Right? Personally, they might be really dirty and do this, but personally, I would not be holding on to this. If they lose this grey box, I would just let it go. Just be happy with what you've got. But maybe some of you are still positioned from here and you can afford to hold a better position. But those of you who are long from here, I wouldn't give the whole thing back. What's the biggest loss I've ever had? Of real money, I think it was about $28,000 on what was the stock name? MOXC? MO fucking something like that. Some rigged Chinese ticker. Absolutely fucked me. I had a few big losses back in the day. A few more questions here, and then we'll do these giveaways, folks. Do I view the world through Bookmap, like Neo in the Matrix? Yeah, exactly that. This is a healthy uptrend. Yeah, well, we're in a downtrend. I can draw, like, if we think about what's happened, right? So the daily did this for a while, right? And then this is what the daily's doing, right? Currently, we're in this part of the daily, right? We're in this part of the daily. So on a lower time frame, today, if we just saw this on a daily, it would look like this, right? That's what we're seeing on a lower time frame, on like an hourly. So we're trying to join this leg here for range rotation in here. Now, we don't know how far this comes up. Does it come all the way up to here? Is it possible that they do this? Yep. Is it possible on a daily that they do this and reject? Yep. So we're just playing this leg here on a daily. All right. This is what we talk about multi-time frame. The easiest trades, right, the layup trades are the pro trend. But we are too extended now. We've had multi-leg down. We expect a pullback. So we're trying to play the long for the relief on the pullback. Hopefully that makes sense. That's where we are in this market at the moment. So the main trend has been down, but we are overextended. So to draw that out for you really quickly as a lesson, I'm going to draw this out on a line chart. Right, this is what happened. The daily went sideways for ages and ages and ages. I'm going to just simplify it. This is what we did on the daily, and we did a failed breakout, and then this has started. All right, we're here. We're here. We expect the market probably to do this, all right? Once it's done this move, it would make a decision. Is it going to come here? Or is it going to do this and come higher and then come down for a retest and then make a decision of what it's going to do? All right. But we are in this little part here, right? We don't expect the market, like we talk about, to just go straight down in one direction. The only time that happens is when they're dumping inventory. All right. If there is like a big black swan event and it's like, hey, the market's on fire, we're going to war, everything's wrong, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, maybe. COVID, right? COVID type thing. Other than that, it's probably more likely to look something like this, even if we come for the low, or maybe we do this, and come back inside here and then reject, right? So just understanding the positioning of how the market moves will help you. Does Discord come with any of your courses and indicators? Yeah, the 20-hour course, man. The beginner to advanced course has indicators and Discord in it. Where do you see ES SPY will go if it stays bullish? Well, SPY's just come back into a pivot. So that 81s to 81.77 is that old low. So it's just rejected that. So you're going to need SPY to reclaim 81s and 82s. You got IB higher 83.72s. Once we get through that, it's going to be tough though, but if it can get through 81.77, which was previous day low, there is a potential lift to 83.72s. Through 83.72s, I'll be watching that pivot low yesterday, 84.66s. If it can get through that, gap fill and the 50-day at 86.20. But you're asking an awful lot. It's more likely that we just range. Are these indicators that I created? Yes, they are. They are. Best place to learn about prop firms, free videos on my YouTube. There's a whole channel on prop firms. You can learn which ones to trade, how to trade them, which ones are good, what their positives are, which ones work for you. Do I live stream on YouTube daily? Yeah, Monday to Friday, 9:15 New York time. No, there's no code guides right now, no sale for indicators right now or anything like that. Sorry. Do I swing futures? No. ETFs? Yes. ETFs and stocks? Yes. So I'm currently, I can tell you positions I'm in currently. I am long Apple, AMD, Meta, Amazon, Open, just holding one share, Microsoft, US Rare Earth, and UUUU, and Netflix. All right. So Apple, I'm long since 208. AMD, I'm only got a little piece left, but I'm long since 162s. Sold most into the all-time high. Meta, I am long from 590s. Small size in there, not really scaled in. Amazon, pretty much flat on that. I'm long from 216s. Open, I was long from 198. I sold most into that huge squeeze. I'm just holding one share just for shits and giggles. Microsoft, I put a feeler on yesterday, so I'm very, very tiny size on Microsoft just to put a feeler on. USA Rare Earth, I have a small position on. I start a position, and UUUU, both versus 20s kind of levels. Wait to see if we base out. We talked about that on stream. And then Netflix, I've got a tiny piece on that as a starter that I put on, I think, either beginning of this week or last week. Looking to see if we flush Netflix into 70s for a rescoop with some size. All right, so, but I go over all of those in Discord. Okay, we're into lunch. Jeez, that came around quick. All right, I'm going to read these last few questions, then we're going to do the giveaways. No, I left Oracle. I was watching Oracle, but they are absolutely dumping. We talked about at the beginning of the stream, right? I've been watching it. I check in on it every day, but the rotation out of software has been massive. All right, is it undervalued? Probably, but there's a huge rotation. It's coming into a really interesting area for me in here. Like, I really like this area, but I don't feel the need to be first in it. What are we down off all-time highs? Like 60%. It's tempting, man. It's tempting to put a starter on there. I will be honest with you. but we are dumping out of, this is what they're rotating out of, because the AI exposure to this, they're too worried about software. So if we think about, what's Adobe, same thing, dumping off it, right? There's your daily on Adobe. It's the same kind of sector, right? They're dumping anything where they think they've got negative exposure to AI, right? So I'd be watching Adobe. We've now undercut this. If we undercut this, fucking hell, man, that's bleak. That is bleak if they do a measured move. Oh my fucking lord. Yeah, I'm not touching that. No way. Not right now. Interesting levels, but yeah, we'll see. They're on watch for me every day. I'm watching all of these every day. But you know, if the market's going to bleed more, like if we're going to bleed more in tech, then we're going to expect these to have weakness. So we can scoop them up. When everyone's saying, look, it's very simple. When everyone's like, the market's dead, it's fucking done, oh my god, then we're going to buy it. Same as, like, you know, your mum and your gran were talking about buying silver and gold last week. Well, guess what? That'll be the high, right? How old am I? I'm 40. I'm 40. 85, baby. Yeah, I'm here every day, Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday. Wife, yes, no children. That's probably why I look young. No live in the afternoons, guys, just in Discord. 9:30. So Kate, I do this profile that you're looking at is to 9:30, but we mark out previous days here, right? They're all above us, right? So I mark these out every single day, and we also have the developing week. We have the developing week as well. We went over traps already. I've been over them a few times. Rotating into what? Well, we are rotating into the broader sector. All right. So I'll go over this one more time. Really want to do these giveaways here before you all got, so you all have a chance. All right. So if we get this up. Oh, Finviz playing games again. Sorry, guys. It's so buggy, that website. Does anyone else find that? Just let this refresh and I can bring it over to you. There we go. Okay. So this is the whole market, right? We are rotating out of tech into defensive, into some financials. Yes, today's having a pullback day, but yes, they look pretty good. The lagging sectors have been finance, healthcare, and defensive. Lots going back into these. You're also going to see it like back into metals, all right, which is what we're seeing. So out of these, which have been up, you know, we went over this yesterday. Worth going back to yesterday's stream and having a watch. Like, some of these are up hundreds and thousands of % since 2023. These are all lagging behind. These are very, very easy sectors to hold in. Like, we are always going to, Costco's always going to be there. All these, Coca-Cola, they're always going to be there. So we're going back into lagging sectors because we're going risk off. All right. So we're rotating out, all right, out of right? We're rotating out of parabolic markets which are up 2,000% since the low in 22, all right, into sectors which are lagging behind, all right, into sectors which are lagging behind, right? Because we don't want to, it's the same story, right? They don't want to buy up here, all right? So if they can rotate out of this, if they lock in some of their profits and they rotate into sectors which are lagging behind here and they bid this back up, right, then these sectors start going, this comes back down, then they rotate back into this, they get this in discount, they bid this back up, they sell this one that they bought. Does that make sense? So if I drew that out, all right, if this is NQ, or let's just call it this whole of tech, and then we have defensive stocks, which would maybe look something like this. Okay, so they're going to sell this, take profits in this, which means this will sell, and they're going to buy this because it's only the equivalent of here, and this will drive up. And then once they get new highs, they will sell some of this and they will rotate back into the Qs, and this will go up, right? And this is what we see all the time. All the time. So if you think about COVID, we came out of all of this, right? And originally, what did we go into down here, right? mRNA. Trying to think of all these stocks. PayPal, Zoom, right? They rotated into all these fucking names, all the healthcare stuff, right? And that went rippy. And once they rotated out of that, they went, all right, tech time, right? And that's how we move. That's how we move assets, because we can't just pump one thing over and over and over and over and over again. They have like a shelf life, and then we have to reset for a moment. Any prop firms that support Tradeify will work with TradingView. Yeah, sorry, that's you guys answering each other. Peloton, yeah, Peloton, a great example. That got absolutely dunked on today, again, on earnings, I'm pretty sure. So we can have a look at Peloton. That's got absolutely fucked on. There we go. Right, so this is what you call like overambition and rotation. We go back to COVID. You can see these levels that I was trading Peloton at back in the day. All right, these are all still on my chart from when I was trading this back in the day. All right, so everyone's going to stay at home. No one can use a gym. Boom. All right, failed to make a new high. All right, COVID's over. Everyone's going back to the gym. Fuck. Oh my God, we can't keep track of any of our bikes. We're sending too many people. This doesn't work. Boom. We're missing earnings. Boom. Oh, we're undervalued. Okay, rotate back in. And then today they went, actually, we missed on earnings. Boom. All right, there's a very typical rotation. Make our money, get out at the high, fucking sell it off. But the difference is this is a turd of a stock. All right, it's an absolute turd. You're going to see small caps start to like be pumped into at the moment as well. That's why you're seeing like RTY has done very, very well, right? Because you're seeing that small cap rotation. Right, you think about where RTY is. All right, look at this. If you compared this to NQ, all right, we are still holding very, very well up here because this is a different rotation. All right. All right, I'm going to set up this giveaway now for you guys. Hopefully you've learned something here today, whether it was a trade with me or whether it was a understanding of how the markets operate. Right, give me a second. Okay, so best code for all your prop firms. FZT, that's the code to use. That money goes back into this stream. You can type that once in chat now. Please don't spam. And we'll pick a winner at random to win a free Apex account, any size that you want. If you want to trade with Take Profit Trader, then you need to use code FLOZO, not FCT. But for everyone else, FCT. Give you guys a minute to do that. Been on stream a lot longer recently. I'm losing track of time. All right. All right, pulling this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Aaron Heineke. Sorry if I've said that wrong. Aaron Heineke, I think it is. 1299. Are you here, Aaron? Let me know you're here. Let me know you're here, still in chat. Yeah, congratulations, Aaron. Okay, all I need you to do, buddy, send me an email, info@flowzonetrader.com. Just send me a screenshot, please, of you logged in to your YouTube, and I will give you a code for a free Apex account, any size account that you want. And that has you sorted out. You're welcome, mate. No worries. You're absolutely welcome. Okay, and the last thing we're going to do, as we always do, we're going to give away a free course. It is not the full course. It is not the order flow course or the 20-hour course. It's just an introduction to the markets. Great for someone who's never traded before, who has no idea. All right, so if you don't want to do it, you can always give it to a family member or a friend. Just type course in chat once, and we'll pick a winner. I'll give you guys a minute to do that as well. Guys, please don't spam. Guys, if you spam, you don't get entered anyway, and you're just going to get pulled out. All right, pulling the winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Julie Scaledo. Julie Scaledo. Hopefully I've said that right. Are you here, Julie Scaledo? Julie Scaledo. 9757. Let me know you're here. Yes, that's you. Indeed, that's you. All right, congratulations. You've won a free course, Introduction to Trading. Please, can you email me, info@flowzonetrader.com. Just send me a screenshot of you logged in to your YouTube, just so I know it's you, and I will hook you up with a free course. All right, everyone. That's me done. I can just tell you what I'd be looking at for the rest of the day. You're in rotation now, so we lost this shelf, right? They failed. Unfortunately, they failed to get all the way up here. You've now got trap volume above this. Here's your New York view up. Here's the top of that old gap, all right, where the sellers got trapped originally on the day. They're trying to pivot above this. So maybe this is like a 50% pullback. I would be less and less interested in this as the day develops now. I think they're just going to have to build out liquidity. You've got opportunities both sides. This would be like buying the midpoint of this range to try and get up here. And if they lose this, they can also do this. So your probability is not so good. Main trend is down, but I think we've finished that. I think we might need to do this rotation up here, but have they got the juice to do it today? I don't know. I will remind you, you have mag earnings at the bell. I still think this is possible up here. All right. And if they get going over these 800s, 820s, you're looking for 890s, 900s, and then maybe even all the way up here, right? They just held that New York view up. You can see cash still coming in and playing. I think there could be relief here this afternoon, but I I will not be playing anymore, I don't think. Those in Discord, I will pop in this afternoon. My email, info@flowzonetrader.com. Info@flowzonetrader.com. Can't access the website. Really? Sounds like that's your antivirus. Just turn your antivirus off. I don't know why it's doing that. Website's definitely safe my end. I can check with Google again, but it should be all fine. Grey boxes on the chart, you draw them on, just like I do. All right. Peace and love, everyone. If you're long and strong, hopefully you can get up there for you guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Let's close out this week strong. All right, let's have a great end of week. We've had a monstrous week. It has been a massive week, 2 weeks in a row of some absolutely huge trades. So let's see if we can close out this week strong. Peace and love, everyone. See you tomorrow morning. Use hard stops, all that good stuff. Be kind. See you in the morning.